All right, well, we are live. Take two. We'll see what happens here. I went live earlier today, and for some reason, YouTube did not push it at all to anybody. So for 15 minutes, I sat here by myself. And so we're going to try it again and see what happens. See if I'm shadow banned or not. Hopefully I'm not, but if I am, whatever. It is what it is. We'll see if anybody shows up. If you do hop in, please say hello. Let me know that you're here, because I would love to chat with you. So for those that might watch this later, in case nobody does come in, this is what I'm working on. Pretty cool. It's an MP5. Earlier I did type that in the description, or in the title actually, so I don't know if that's why they were not pushing it or what, but it does look like there is 4 people that are at least here this time, so thank you guys. Liberty Bleeds Silver, what is going on, brother? I appreciate you stopping in. I went live earlier for about 15 minutes at 2:30 when I normally go live. 15 minutes, not one view, not one comment, nothing. I was like, damn, I gotta be shadow banned. Like, what the hell's going on? So I figured I would try it again and see what would happen. So I appreciate you stopping in, man. Means a lot. B. Taylor, what's up? Yeah, I don't know what happened earlier, man. 15 minutes, I had 0 views. That's never happened before. Now, I was in a live stream a few weeks ago. I haven't done a Thursday pour day in a while, so I thought maybe that had something to do with it too, because I missed 3 weeks. But what the hell was I saying? Oh, probably about a month ago, I was talking about the food, right? I was talking about the food, and I was talking about Big Pharma. You can put 2 and 2 together. Don't do that on a live, because I think they've been screwing with me ever since. So anyway, I'm going to try to do something somewhat easy. The MP5 was kind of a pain, but I got it looking perfect, I think. I still got to draw some vent lines. But this was my grandfather. My grandfather passed away, and he had made a dream catcher from my mother. And this was in the dream catcher, so I took this arrowhead out so that I can make copies of it. And then I was going to put it back together at some point. So we're going to make a copy of this, and we're going to pray that we don't break it. God, please don't let me break this. In the name of Yeshua, I pray. Thank you. Because that would definitely suck. But the spearhead, I actually found this in the ground. I was digging a hole just outside of Washington, D.C., and I found the spearhead. Sometimes I do this in silver and copper, but the last one I did in copper in my last auction, I had one up. If anybody wants one of those, let me know. It's probably 3.5 ounces, maybe, something like that. So it's kind of a heavy one. But yeah, if you're here, make sure, if you are interested in getting a capital currency pour, please make sure that you stop by my next auction, because I don't know how often I'm going to be doing them after this next one. I'm not going to stop pouring or anything like that, but it just might be a while before I get to have another one. So, and especially if YouTube is going to shadow ban me. I've been going live for a year pouring, and I have never, even after a minute, I've never had not one person be there. So to go live for 15 minutes and nobody be there was very strange to me. I don't know what happened, but we got 8 people here and 3 likes. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Cranky Stacker, what's up? Appreciate you stopping in. Liberty Bleeds, B. Taylor, and the Cranky Stacker. Thank you guys. And there's so many awesome people in this community. that I know damn well in my community, if I go live, somebody's going to stop in and say hello. So after 15 minutes, I'm like, something's broke. Something's broke with YouTube. I don't know what's happening, but something is definitely broke here. I'm definitely not the type of person that's going to have 30, 40 people in my life. Don't get me wrong. But we usually have at least a few, and everybody likes to say hello. Michael7477, what's going on? What are you producing? I am producing a arrowhead. I'm going to make a copy of that in silver. And then I'm also going to make a copy of this little toy MP5. I have that already sandcasted, halfway ready to go. I still got to draw some vent lines, but we'll get there. And then this arrowhead I'm going to make a copy of too. In 3/9 fine silver. So stay tuned if you want to see that happen. I live under the shadow. Liberty bleeds. What are you talking about? You've been doing amazing. I've seen what you've been doing. You've been doing awesome. Respect, brother. I see stuff like that and I'm like, yes. You know, I love it when people do great. I can't help but wonder sometimes, though. It's like, really? 15 minutes? Nobody showed up? Something's broke. Or I just suck so bad I need to quit doing this. That's kind of where I was at earlier. But whatever. It is what it is either way, you know, I can't do nothing about it. Yeah. Liberty bleeds. That's cool. So this was my grandfather's. It was in his hands at one point and he passed away. So it's a way for me to kind of hold on to it. It's a way for me to put that out into the community as well. And then the praying hands. And if anybody's interested in one of these, let me know. I will make another one. I've done 9 of these so far. I think the next one will be number 10. This was from my grandmother when she passed away. This was hanging on her wall. It was on a cross. And I drilled it off of the cross so I can make copies of this. And so there's, if this is going to be number 10, there's 9 in the community. No, there's 10 in the community. 1 is a prototype. And the next one, I think, is going to be number 10. 7, 8. No, I think I did 7, 8. The next one will be 9, actually. So if anybody likes this one, let me know. I usually start those around $80. It's usually around 1.8 ounces, Troy. Now what we got to do is make sure that I don't put this too far down. Now you can see right here, there's a little bit of space I got to get to. I got to push this down a little bit more. But once I do that, this edge right here is going to be kind of down in the sand. So I got to make sure I get this edge right with that, if that makes any sense. All right, that looks good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to take this, one of my little, I like this one. I'm just going to make sure that we're all the way to this edge. And it being an arrowhead, it kind of has, you know, different lines here and there. So you got to get into all of the little grooves. And when you go to pour the silver in there, if it does have, like I was going to do this one. This is the, can't really see it very well, but it's got a CC on there. So it's the channel shield. And it says 3/9 silver on the back. But when I do it, I usually will put it in the sand and then put all the sand over top of it, flip it over, and then I'll dig it out halfway around. Because that seal, it really seals everything tight. and it seems to be better once you put a couple vent lines in it. It really kind of sucks the silver down into it. The cool thing is with the arrowhead, it's got so many different like lines and cuts on it that even afterwards, if something's not perfect, I can take a file to it and make it look pretty good. Now, filing sometimes sucks and it does take a while, but usually you can fix anything if you happen to go too far. Because where I bring the sprue in, you can see there's cuts right here. And if I bring this sprue in, you're gonna miss some of those cuts. So I'm gonna have to go back with a file and make it look like there was never a sprue there. The sprue is, it's the line that comes in. So you have this piece, there's gonna be metal that's gonna come all the way down and fill up a hole that I drill into this. Well, you know, for lack of a better word. And then this will all fill up with silver, and then I'll have to cut that off and then make sure I file everything so that you can't tell that that's what happened. I don't know how great I'm explaining everything right now, but I'm pretty sure you guys can get the gist of what I'm trying to say. I'm just glad somebody showed up, man. 15 minutes, not one soul. I was like, what the hell did I do wrong? Is somebody telling lies on me in the community? Did everybody go on strike? Say it ain't so. It's funny. You know, we all put a lot of work into our channels, man. More than anybody will ever know. So it can definitely be a little disheartening when you try to do something and nobody's there. At the same time, I try not to let anything get to me, you know, because you don't want to be that guy. But so see how I popped this up a little bit and it kind of pulled some of this stuff out. So we got to make sure we're pressed down enough here. I'm going to take all these down a pretty good amount. It's tedious. And it's funny, man. A lot of people, they see the price for a sand cast. Oh, damn it, I just pushed that underneath. And they're like, why is it so expensive? Well, you know, it took 3 hours to make it. So. And there's a lot of people out there that just want to stack weight, and I am totally fine with that as well. This is more about the art than it is about the weight. And I try very hard to be the best at what I do. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I do try very hard to be as close as I possibly can. And anybody that's here that has any pores of mine will tell you what they think, and that's all I can do. I feel like I kind of pushed it a little bit too far. Every now and then, I do have to start over, so you never know. That could happen. When you come here, you're going to get honesty one way or another. I've shown the good, the bad, and the ugly many times. And I'll never stop doing that. Because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as they say. Sometimes you put an hour into a piece and it ends up not working at all. And you got to start from scratch. It's just part of the process. I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and I'm still learning, so. The learning process is real. I think that might be good, though. I think they're just about there. Although that went pretty far right here. I have to do this a little bit more now. Just on this one corner. So when I go to take this out, when it drops out, I don't want to pull any of the sand with me. So that's why I'm trying really hard to make sure everything is in the exact spot when I go to do that. Because we still have to put this on top and put more sand on top of it and then break it in half. So bear with me with the comments here. I'm definitely behind. So that's what I'm doing, Michael. YouTube sucks. Yeah. Hello. Have a good day. Awesome. Oops, that probably went up the banning. You know, at this point, I'm like, screw it, whatever. I'm with you, Liberty. Ras Bobo, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Love gold and silver. Amen. Godita, what's up? Oh, so talk about jewelry, Cranky. I was at my cousin's. I've been doing some HVAC work with him, which is why I haven't been live recently on Thursdays. But these are kids' toys that he had laying around. Not necessarily toys, but check that out. Rings. I was like, you know, I've never done a ring before. So I think I'm going to do a men's ring. And then these obviously would be like, I guess it'd be kind of like a wedding band anyway. But I'm going to try to do some rings. I do have, so this is called a flask for those that might not know. And this is a different type of flask. And this is, see, it has two lines right there. This is a flask for jewelry. It doesn't have a hole in it, but so you got to kind of go through the bottom. So to be honest, I think if I was going to make a ring, it's probably going to be in that. I'm probably not even going to use this. Sometimes they have a hole right here on the side, but I didn't get one of those. This actually came with some Petrobond. So I was like, well, if I can get a free little flask with it, I'll go ahead and grab it. And I really barely even use Petrobond anymore. I'll tell you what, that thing was oily as hell. Starting to warm up a bit. Yeah, you're in Vegas, right? See my old song and dance. Yeah, I hear that. Gadita's here. She says, I'm here. Appreciate you guys. I'm telling you, I went live for 15 minutes earlier and not one person in 15 minutes was here. So you know, I was trying to set up, I monetized it because I was thinking, well, then I don't have to go back later and monetize it for people that rewatch. Because you try to do what you can, you know. And maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have did that. I have done that one other time, and that's kind of why I was testing it, just to see. So I don't know. Maybe that's why they didn't push it at all. But Rakamas, what's up? How you doing? Everybody's saying hello. Trying not to miss anybody. You have to call law office. Uh-oh. All right. I hope I see you later. It's all good. Learning to cast silver gold can potentially save money for a lot of people. Yeah. You're right about that, Michael. Then again, sometimes I lose money on these, because I sell everything. So it's not, you might be able to break even. Let's just leave it at that. Sarah Boucher? Boucher? Am I saying that right? Sarah Boucher? Do you know many people named Sam? I know one. Deneen, what's going on? Yeah, I don't know that guy. I don't know that Sam. Sarah. Yeah, letter P. I have no idea. Sorry. 210, what's up? Just showing up to the party. Appreciate that. Nobody showed up to the party earlier. I went live at 2:30, and for 15 minutes, nobody was here, so I ended it. And I was so embarrassed, I just erased it. And I was like, maybe just try it again later. I think YouTube's kind of messing with me. I don't know. There's an issue for sure. We got 18 people here with 15 likes already. It's been 20 minutes. And in 15 minutes last time, nobody even showed up. So I think I'm on the shadow ban list sometimes. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It was very strange. Maybe they were resetting some things earlier. In New Zealand, there's capital gains tax. Yeah. Casting bullion bars into candlesticks. There's an idea. Yeah, I'm in Maryland in the United States. Dude 101. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I'm not really a gamer either, so I don't know anything about Nintendo and all that stuff. So we do something a little different over here. Sorcerer Stan, what's up? Appreciate you stopping in. Be the best. You have to be the best. I hear that. What about jewelry? I call it neck money. Yeah. I've got some jewelry, man. If anybody's looking for some gold earrings, I got some hoop gold earrings. That the price on them is $300. And I was gonna put them up in the auction for like 100. I would love to sell those now. If anybody needs some hoop earrings, let me know. $100 or best offer at this point. I will let them things go. It's 10 karat gold. Order Boyan, what's up? Your early pours are the most unique because they're not perfect. Yeah, yeah. Some of them. I've always kind of been a perfectionist, though. But since I started using Duff clay, I feel like I definitely have a little bit more of perfection side to things. But yeah, the longer you do it, the better you get, and you really don't even realize it as it's happening. It's like you kind of look back on some of that stuff because I have pictures of every single pour I've ever done, which I really need to get on Instagram and post all that stuff because I am so far behind. I have probably 300 pours I need to add to Instagram that I have not put up yet. I started with my beginning pours and then just kind of, I keep saying I'm going to get there, and then I get further and further in my phone, and it's just ridiculous. It's so hard to keep up. Yeah, if you stay up for, what? Oh, I thought you said I stayed up for a few years. It's like, damn, no wonder. Yeah, I've been up for about 3 days. That's about my max. So on Easter, I did fast for 3 days, and that was amazing. I've been feeling pretty good ever since. I suggest everybody do it. At least do a 3-day fast. The next one I'm going to do is going to be a 5-day fast. It's not easy, but I'm telling you, I felt so good after 3 days. I ate Thursday night, and I didn't eat again until Sunday night on Easter. And a lot of things happen in your body. Your cells start to rebuild. The bad stuff kind of dies off, and the new stuff starts growing, for lack of better words. I'm no scientist over here, just saying. Silver Spurs 420, what's up? Oh, we just passed 422, huh? Somebody blazed. Man, I am so far. I keep trying to catch up on these comments, and it never seems to happen. Sorry, guys. Need somebody in here to just read comments to me. You carve and wax now. Lots to learn. That's pretty cool. So I got this piece of wood here. Now, if you're under 18, turn the page. But I got this little wood thing. I want to make a fuck bar. So it's this, and it'll have a bar underneath of it. But I started to think, like, this is just a piece of wood. And I was like, you know, if I could get good at carving, making things like the turtle, I could carve it out of wood and then have that forever to make copies of. And I have tools to do it. I have all the tools to do it, really. So I think that's going to be an endeavor that we get into pretty soon. I'm going to make something out of wood. Bling, you like the rings? Declan Junior, am I saying that right? Declan Junior. Appreciate you stopping in. Oh, Denise says the bag is ready. You didn't receive a notification that I was live. Yeah, Rakamas, nobody is. That's the problem. I'm surprised anybody's here right now. I've had so many people tell me that they're not getting the notifications. So, I don't know if it's all the time. I feel like earlier they sent out 0 notifications. Because I've never had, usually within a minute or two, at least somebody will be there. You know what I mean? To not have anybody for 15 minutes was crazy to me. I don't know how that happened. That's why I ended it and then erased it and just said, I'll come back later. Bellows likes to occupy your time. It's all good. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, if anybody, you know, if you happen to come across the video, smash the like button, leave a comment, even if it's just an emoji or something, just some kind of interaction with the channel, because I've really fell off from that. And it has a lot to do with them not pushing a lot of the stuff out that I do. And a lot of people don't get notifications anymore. So if you could do that for me, that'll slowly start to rebuild. I don't know behind the scenes all of this and that and what to do and what means what and why things happen, but I've had many people tell me they don't get my notifications anymore. And there's nothing I can really do about that. Short of going off, like clicking off of the notifications and then getting back on and then hitting all notifications. That way you get every notification I put out. But yeah, I'm going to have an auction soon, and I really need to have an auction soon. So it kind of scared me earlier when nobody was there. I was like, crap, what am I going to do with the auction whenever that comes up? Yeah, breaking even, the time is what's considered. A lot of times you can break even with the silver, but then your time isn't added into it, and then you're kind of losing money at that point. So, you know, it is what it is. That's why I always do a minimum bid, because that's the minimum I'm willing to let it go for. And at that point, I'm not adding in my time. That's just me putting a minimum bid into materials and shop supplies and all the things it takes to actually make it. But like I said, you know, the first few I was going to do, we're up to, this will be my 12th auction, or 13th. I can't remember. I think this will be maybe my 13th. Man, I can't remember. But yeah. Anyway. Bellows Forge, what is going on, brother? You just got the package? You are welcome. Yeah, you got 2 giveaways. I think Adita got 2 giveaways, and then she picked up a few things too. Appreciate you guys. You know what I'm going to start doing with the giveaways, though, because I don't get comments anymore. And it's kind of sad to me, really, because if you go back 3 years ago, I used to get so many comments. Even on a video that would get 100 views, I'd have 50 comments on it. And I need that back. And I think that's kind of an issue why they're not pushing things sometimes, too. So I'm going to start doing my giveaways from my comments. So make sure you guys leave comments. When this is done, come back, leave a comment. I'm not going to say what video or what live stream, but I'm going to start doing my giveaways from comments in my videos, because I got to do it. It's got to be done. That's all there is to it. LYD Ford, what's up? You grew up in Maryland? Sweet. I am around the Annapolis area. Right on the bay. Chesapeake Bay. Anyway, I gotta stop trying to catch up with these comments, man. I feel like I'm getting so far behind, guys. A lot of people are saying hello. How many grams are the 10 karat gold earrings? I think it was, I don't know, or I think it was like 1. They're not very heavy. When it comes to the gold weight, it's not going to be worth it because I think the gold weight might have been like $60, but they're earrings. You know what I mean? It's jewelry. So, like I said, the tag on it, it's built into the case. It says $300. I'll let them go for $100. I think that's an amazing deal. And I bought these when gold was at $1,700. So you definitely can't buy anything like that, even close to that now. So Silver Spring, I used to deliver in Silver Spring back in the day. I spent many hours in Silver Spring area. And up 270, all the way up to Frederick, all the way over to, or up to Emmitsburg and over to Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. That was my route back in the day. Back in my 20s, my early 20s. I did deliveries. I sold construction supplies. But yeah. You love to look at the Arrowhead. Thank you, Bellows. Appreciate it. Did you see the MP5? Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker. Howdy. What is going on? Supreme Ginger Stacker, what's up? I will never comment. You can't make me. Wait, shit. Commented. Haha, tricked you. I appreciate you guys. It's tough, man. You guys know. A lot of you are content creators. A lot of the people that hang out are trying to create some kind of content. And you know, it's tough. And it's very easy to get caught up in the, oh, why aren't they coming here? You know, I try not to be like that. But sometimes it's like, you put so much time and energy and work into something, you really just want it to do good, and then nobody sees it. And it's like, it sucks. I don't care who you are, it sucks. Nobody signs up for that. Nobody wants that to happen. But it's hard to support everybody. There's too many people out there. So, you know, I get that at the same time. I wish I could support everybody that I follow. I have if I follow you, I probably have your bell rung. So there's so many people in a day that'll be in the notifications that it's impossible for me to get to everybody. So I also understand. But I was talking about that earlier because I went live at 2:30 when I normally go live. And for 15 minutes, I didn't have one view. So I ended it because I didn't know what the hell was going on. It was kind of strange. I've never had that happen before. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to end it. I'll come back later, see what happens. Maybe YouTube was doing... Maybe they had to adjust a few things. Who knows? But anyway, so we got this pour. We got some cool pours here. So we got 2 of them. Let's get this done. That way we can get outside and get everything heated up. And melt some silver. All the big pieces are broke up now. It's nice to take a chunk and stick it in this. It works a lot better. Well, I don't know if it works better, it's just easier. Trying to make the sand that I put in, especially when it's like up against the piece, you want it to be as fine as possible. And then once I get everything covered, we just put a couple big old blobs on there and press her down. And I just bought 4 pounds of duff clay, and I can't even do 2 again. I'm at a point where I can do 2 now, but after about 3 or 4 more pours, I'm probably not going to be able to do 2 at a time again, because I already got this one filled up. If you didn't see, this is an MP5, so we're going to pour this one with this arrowhead here. So let's get this bad boy ready so we can get out there. I'm rolling this because I want to get the sand as tight as possible. That way when I take it apart and try to get the actual arrowhead out, everything is nice and tight around it. You don't always have to do this. It really kind of depends about the piece, but I usually roll it at least a little bit. Or you can hammer it too. Some people hammer it. Oh, I almost stepped on you, buddy.
It's good for my shirt.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice. Cute. I don't like how the back's open. It's kind of big. It's like extra. You can see a lot of stuff. I don't like that. I don't like it. You can see a lot of stuff. Girls, daughters, who's with me? Let's see what YouTube thinks about it. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Sometimes I'll take one of these in here and pop it, make sure nothing's sticking. There we go. That looks good. That looks good. I'm a little too zoomed though. Well, that's not too bad. I create shit and giggles. I hear that. All right, if I missed anybody, I don't want to get too far back. I know I missed some comments, so if you said anything you want me to know, just type capital currency and say it. Sometimes I create giggles and shits. Hey, you never know. It's depends on the type of day, you know. I hear that. It does look like this kind of fell over a little bit there, so I might try to push it down and then pop it out, because for some reason, yeah, I think I went a little bit too hard on the pressing. It's all right though. It's an arrowhead. It's kind of one of those pieces where you can kind of mess with it a little bit. If I go just trying to dump this out real quick, any of the sand that's over the piece on the edges will just pull out, and then you're kind of screwed anyway. So either way, you got to fill it back in. So we're going to try to press this stuff down just enough to where we can pop this out, and hopefully we'll be ready to go. And for anybody out there that tells you sand casting is easy, just punch them in the face. I don't even care. Just punch them in the face. Call it a day. Because it ain't easy. I don't care who you are. If it was easy, we could sell it for spot price. I don't want to go too far, because any of that extra is going to end up giving me flashing, so we don't want to get too far down. I think that's probably good. See it pop up. Okay. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't do anything I would do. Shit. Said that wrong. Alright. Came out pretty good. Something fell out with it, but that might have been from the top here. I think we'll be good on this one. Show me what you're working with. I don't have to have a camera on to talk to myself. Let me tell you, I spent many a day walking. This is my kitchen. I spent many a day walking from my kitchen down the hall, through the living room, to the bedroom, and back. Just talking out whatever it is I gotta figure out. You gotta say it. You gotta say it out loud sometimes to make it happen. To really grasp what is going on. They used to say people are crazy if they talk to themselves. Well, I think you're crazy if you don't talk to yourself. How about that? Shit, I'll be driving down the road in my truck sometimes, listening to some good music, talking to myself. And I don't care who knows it. It's what I do. I've had some of my best conversations with myself. And I am proud to say it. I probably would have got in a lot more trouble if I didn't, to be honest. That is faux a show. So when I talk about a sprue, this is what I'm talking about. You gotta have a place to pour the silver into. We want to make sure all that's nice and smooth. And we're gonna actually get it into the piece. Can't go too far on this side because we're going to kind of come more on this side than this, but we've got to make sure it's at least to the arrowhead. And like I said, with files, this is what I'm talking about when I say files. This is what we use to clean everything up to where you can't tell where this happened or that happened. That part in itself, like you have this whole part, that's one part of it, but sometimes the filing can take you just as long as everything else. So that's why pours are not cheap. So that side's good. Now, I'll show you what I'm saying too. We'll do a little bit up close here. You can see where the arrowhead was right here. I gotta bring this in somewhere. So some of that, those little edges, you know, the little cuts here and there that they had when they made it, I'm gonna lose that in the pour. But once I cut this off, because there'll be silver here, once I cut that off, I can take the files and rebuild whatever it was. I can look at the original piece and then file it to where it looks just like the original. So that's what we got to get to eventually. go pretty deep into that because we got to make sure the silver can get in there. I poured about 25 copper pieces yesterday. I'll show you guys that in a minute if you want when we go outside. I did 3 crosses, 3 hearts, and then a bunch of bars. Like I said, I've been doing some HVAC work. And I got not the pieces that have oil that run through them, but the other pieces before they're used. My cousin had like a line of it, and so I cut them off every like 3 inches and then hammered them flat, stuck them into a flask, and then melted them down, and then made a bunch of bars with them. And I was trying to practice pouring when it comes to not this. It's pretty easy to get it into one of these holes, but when you're doing crosses in a graphite mold or hearts and bars and things like that, you got to be kind of precise with it, and it's not easy. So I was trying to practice a little bit. And I like doing that too because, I mean, mainly you just get practice with it. That's kind of really the main thing with it. Learning how the metal works, how it pours, when you get it pouring, when you start to bring it back, and how you got to stop it at the right time to make sure nothing drips out on top of it because you can get some weirdness. Now, copper is different than silver. Silver solidifies very fast. So you got to pour it and be done. To do the cross I have in silver is really hard. In copper, it's a little bit easier because when you pour it, it kind of goes out to all the pieces, and it takes probably twice as long once it gets hard. So you can do different things, but with copper, you don't get details like you do with silver. Copper likes to get kind of what's the word? It has a lot of pitting a lot of times with copper, and that's never good. So I learned something from somebody online. What they do is once they get these sprue holes ready, they will because you don't want anything on here. That's why I'm pressing down on it. I'm trying to make sure that it's nice and flat, and I'm not going to get any kind of anything that might be sticking up. You don't want that to hit the silver, hit it, and then it fall down in there, because then you're going to get some kind of pitting somewhere. So you always want to make sure everything's flat. But then what they were doing is taking a little bit more baby powder, because the baby powder is how I keep this from sticking. Put a little bit in this brush, and then I'm just going to kind of tap it on the entrance there. Apparently that kind of helps with it getting all up in. There we go. So that's going to be nice. And now we're going to do the same thing with these. And then I'm going to put these in the oven for 20 minutes. I do got to draw some vent lines, but we're going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes while I get the furnace ready to go, and then we'll pour it. All right, that is the ticket. I do got to draw vent lines though. I forgot about that. We got to get that done. Let's do the easy one first. like to do both sides too, just to make sure everything is all good. Shit, let me start this oven. Preheat the oven at 200 degrees. We should be pouring in about 25 minutes. And so there's gases when it comes to silver going into sand, duff clay, whatever, petrobond. You're always going to have gases, so you got to give those gases somewhere to escape. Otherwise, you'll definitely get pitting. And that's what I'm doing here. I used to draw really big ones to where you'd actually have to snip it off with snips, and now I just use an X-Acto knife and just do a lot more. I used to do, you know, just a few, 4 or 5 on each one, and now I just do a bunch on both sides with an X-Acto knife, and it seems to work pretty good as long as you heat everything up. Like I said, I'm going to throw these in the oven, 200 degrees for about 20 minutes. And it doesn't need much. It'll find its way out. You'll see the smoke will come out the edges. And I like this because even if the silver does go in just a little bit, you really can barely tell. And usually with a file a few times, it's gone. When you got those big pieces, then you gotta cut it, and then you gotta file that off, which sometimes can take a while, depending on the piece and what you got going on, but like that right there should be perfect. Now the gun's gonna be a little bit of a different story here. We gotta make sure we get this right. I think I'm gonna go one down the middle. Down the corner. Always do one on the sprue too. She's ready. All right. There's a lot of vent holes, so somewhere the gases should find a way to get out of there. But I do both sides just in case. I won't do as many on this side, but definitely on the bottom, you want to make sure everything has a place to go. You see, I got a little too close there, so it kind of pushed it. But we're not going to get crazy like I did on the other side. Maybe one here, one here. Anytime there's like a point, like that right there, I try to always bring something down from that on both sides. I'll do one in the middle here and then two on that one. One on the edge. One on the edge. All right, I think that's good. So we're gonna put that in the oven, and then I'm gonna go outside and fire up the furnace in a minute. And I am about ready to burn one anyway. Make sure I bring both of my clamps up. And talk to my imaginary friend next to me. I'll talk to myself. I talk to the video. Hey, I've been known for that every now and again too. I just sit there and talk to myself. Not that I get views, but you know. I hear you. The Irish Collector, what's up? Hope you're having a good day. I found my first and only arrowhead in Michigan on my wife's farm. It was intact. Highlight blue color. Yeah, that's cool. This is the only, I've never found an arrowhead, but I found a spearhead. This is the one I found. And it got chipped here and here, so whenever I pour it, I have to kind of fix that. I always leave the tip the way that it is, though, because that's how I found it. It was definitely used. I don't know if it killed a deer or another native. I don't know. But I like to leave that part the way it was. But this happened afterwards. When I found it, it was perfect. Somebody dropped a damn thing right when I found it. I took it inside. He dropped it on concrete. I was like, you got to be shitting me right now. So then I went on vacation for a week because I kept it at work. I went on vacation for a week, and when I came back, it had the other chip. And I was like, you got to be kidding me right now. So you can't trust people at work. That's just the main thing. Here's my poker chip. I know you guys love the poker chip thing. I pour mine in silver. If anybody wants one, let me know. I'll pour another one and have it ready for the auction. Otherwise, I don't know when you're going to be able to get another one. It might be a while. But I might do another one if anybody wants one. Just make sure you leave a comment. And then the praying hands. That's another one that I've done a lot of that I might do one more of. I don't have a whole lot of silver to work with right now, so. But yeah, we'll have the MP5. This is a number 1. That's what I'm doing now. That's going to be a number 1. I did a prototype before, and that's the second attempt. All the other pew-pews I've done, I'm at least a number 1. I think this one might be a number 3. Then we got the AR and the AK. Those are about probably number 2s or 3s next. I think I did 2 of these so far each. And then these, I did 2 of these so far. The over and under shotgun and the rifle. But There's another gun I got somewhere. Oh, a 9mm. The 9mm I've done twice. So that'll be at number 2 if anybody wants that. I might try to figure that out because I think all my guns are at number 2 except for the one I'm doing now. But of course I have to make 2 to make that a number 2. But this one, they'll all be pretty close to the same number if I do that. Oh, here it is. This is the one I was thinking about doing earlier, and I totally forgot about it. This one is cool. It's kind of rubbery, though. You see how it kind of bends a little bit? I think I can still pull it off. So I might attempt to do this one next. And that'll be a prototype, because I haven't done that one yet. And this one, too. This one's kind of tiny, though. This one will probably be like 9 ounces. Like, that's pretty small. It says M700 on the side of it. And this, I assume, is an AR-15 of sorts. But anyway, let's go outside and get some stuff going on. Look at this dude. Well, we are really zoomed. OV. Sit. Speak. Speak. That's not speak. 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 Good boy. Oh, I guess we'll take him out. There's some deer running around earlier. I got corn for him. By the way, don't pay no attention to my mess. I'm about to go through my shed. Crap, I got some things to break down too. We're gonna break. Everybody still here? That happens every time I come out here. There we go. That's better. More Kong, is that how I say that? Everyday carry. I don't have an everyday carry because I'm in Maryland and I don't have a license to carry. So, but I have a 38 special that I like, revolver, and then I have a 32 auto that I like. I have a semi-automatic shotgun that's pretty cool. A little tactical semi-automatic shotgun that stays in my studio. And everything else is locked up. Although I'm kind of a little weary about talking about that sort of thing because YouTube's been messing with me a little bit. I forgot to look at the time. It's probably 5:15 when I put that in the oven. So we'll be pouring in about 15 minutes. What's your everyday carry, Warrior? To be honest, I'd like to get a 9mm. I'm gonna probably do that soon, and I'm gonna get my license to carry. Other than that, I have a knife that I always carry, and that's just a little gas station. It's cheap. Oh, deer. Ovi, come. Ovi, there's a deer right there. Ovi, come. Ovi, come. See it? Ovi, come. Ovi, come. Ovi, come. Come. Here he comes. Good boy. Good boy. Stay. I put corn out for them, and they haven't come yet, so I'm not sure if... you're looking at a freaking tree. My bad. Where'd the deer go? Where's it at? There it is. Here, I'll tell you what. Let me put him inside. Come on. Because the deer will come and start eating corn if you guys like watching deer. It will come up and start eating corn. Come on, come. Oh, it ran off. Never mind. Never mind, it ran off. It saw the dog. Sometimes if I'm here, they don't care, but when they see the dog, they're like, eh. I have 3 deer that come in pretty often. And one of them, I talked about this because they've been coming in for about a year. And it was a big doe, and she had 2 babies. And one baby was a little bit bigger than the other. And I kept telling everybody, I guarantee that's going to be a buck, and the other one's going to be a doe. And sure enough, he came in a couple days ago. Probably about 4 days ago, he came in, and he had little nubs. So he's starting to grow his horns. But I didn't have any corn at that time. I kind of felt bad. So I put corn out, and it took 3 days, and he finally found it last night. So that's why he's back now. But he saw the dog and ran off. But yeah, so many times I do lives, and deer will be just here chilling. We'll just start watching the deer and hanging out, talking. Happens the whole time. But anyway, let's get back to the task at hand. I think I might lift it all the way up, actually. Bear with me. I got a new tripod, man. This thing, I made a video about it because it's really inexpensive and it's an awesome tripod. I just didn't post it yet. If I sit you here, you can kind of see everything at once. I think that's how we're gonna do it. 3D Woodworks, what's up, brother? Appreciate you stopping in. We did a little better this time. People actually came in. I don't know what happened on the last one, but UFOs, no joke, what's up? Hunters took 6-8 deer I had as neighbors. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I don't hunt here. I do hunt, but I don't hunt here. So yeah, those 3 are kind of my pets. They know me, man. I sit and talk to them a lot of times. I'll see them back in the woods. I'll say, come on, mama. Come on, mama. Come on. Start doing that. And they will literally walk up and start eating corn. Because I'll see them. There won't be any corn out. And then I'll start calling them, and I'll walk the corn out there. And as long as they're not 10 yards from me, they'll usually hang out. If they're close to the corn, they'll kind of walk away when I put the corn out, but then they'll come right back. So yeah, those 3 are kind of my pets. I would never do anything with them. I mean, they're not my pets, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I love animals too, but I am a hunter as well, because I like to feed my family. I like to feed my family the best kind of meat I can, and venison is that. But I'll be honest, I didn't take 1 deer this year. Last year, I think I harvested like 3. This year, I didn't take 1. We just sat and watched them out back. Any Bigfoot? No, I haven't. I'll be honest. In my lifetime, I'm 45 years old. I've never seen not even 1 Bigfoot. But that would be pretty cool. If there was any thought to there being a Bigfoot out here, I would come out here with the camera and try to talk to him. Just saying. I would be all about that. But I'm in Maryland. I'm pretty close to the Chesapeake Bay, so land only goes but so far before you're at the bay. And then that runs out to the ocean. LD or LYD. My dog runs with deer. Sorry, I can't see very good out here. My dog runs with deer. It's a little funny, yeah. When I first got him, he's about 1.5 years old right now. Actually, he might be getting close to 2 years old. And And when I first got him, sometimes he would kind of run after the deer, but the deer have been here so many times, I'll have him sit and he'll sit with me and watch the deer. So as long as he's not moving around too much, they'll still come in. But he was back in the woods when that deer walked up, so it kind of freaked him out a little bit. And he's young. He's only a year old, that deer, so. Last year was his first year coming around. My dog went missing and was last seen near a Chinese restaurant. Uh-oh. You can draw your own conclusions. Dang, Richard. Sorry to hear that. I do appreciate you stopping in, though. I'm about to fire it. Ow, mother. I'm about to fire this furnace up. If I don't burn my fingers off beforehand. I just smoked a cigarette down to nothing. I gotta go grab the silver. So this is the crucible. I'm gonna fill this up with some silver, and then we got 2 pours that I'm gonna bring out. I'm gonna sit them right here. I'm gonna put this in, let it melt, and then we're gonna do the pours. So let me go get that silver, and we'll put it in, fire the furnace up, and then you can hang out and watch the furnace go and see how long it takes. It's only about 10 minutes, and then we'll be pouring. So stay with me. Come on, Obi. All right, sorry, I had to open a few things. So I got a Trump round I attempted to pour, and look at that piece of crap. I don't know what it is about this mold. It's about 4 ounces, That's going in there. We got one of the old Silvertown Eagles. And we got this Silvertown Eagle, which I thought about trying to make a copy of. And instead of having it 1 ounce in the back, just doing this design in sand and having a 2 ounce. But I need to make sure I have enough silver to get all the way down in there. I got a Chiwu Chian Wang. That's probably going to get melted, which I hate to do, but it is what it is. Got an Australian Koala. 4.9's fine, actually. And then I got one of these Aztecs. So we're going to throw these in there. 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 8 ounces. I don't know. Is that a design that somebody would like in a 2 ounce? Or should I just melt it? I need to make sure I have enough. And those sprues are kind of big, so I do want to make sure it gets down in there on both of them. I'm just going to melt it. I'll get another one at some point. I got a little bit of shot, but I don't have much. And I don't want to... I like to keep the shot, because if I need to do something that's like a ½ ounce and I need it to be exact, or an ounce, I like to have the shot to do it that way. By the way, I still do have a couple of those ½ ounce rounds, the CC channel rounds. I got 4 of them left if anybody's looking for one. I think I have number 4, 5, 7, and 8. Or something like that. I had 10 of them made, but 4 of them didn't sell in the last auction. But anyway. OC Stacker, what's up? You need to call me, man. I haven't talked to you in a while. You never call me back. What happened? I lost you. They say a dog's man's best friend, but what if I want more than friendship? What's your take on bestiality? Yeah, we don't do that here. You are definitely a weird one, buddy. How old are you? Yeah, just double tap the screen. Just make sure you double tap the screen. Can't wait to get out of Pennsylvania. Never lived in Pennsylvania. I've lived in Maryland my whole life. I lived in Maryland in about 10 different places, but always in Maryland. Ben Flowers, what's going on? How you doing? Appreciate you stopping in. This is where you start debating to save the coin. Yeah, well, the problem is nobody's going to be willing to pay what I can get for an ounce of a poured piece. So that's why it all gets melted eventually. You can go back a few videos ago. I posted a video where I melted a bunch of those 5 ounce quarters. I think I cut like 3 or 4 of them up. I had to cut them in half to fit in the crucible. I had a few people telling me, I wanted that. Well, you know, if you were willing to pay up for it, you could have got it, but too late now. It's too pretty to melt. I hear you, Lisa. Hello, by the way. Appreciate you stopping in. It is too pretty to melt, but I'm also out of shot, and I got to keep this thing going. So I tell you earlier, I didn't know if this thing was going to keep going. Weirdo activity. Yeah, I hear that. I went live earlier at 2:30 like I normally do on Thursdays, but I missed 3 Thursdays in a row because I've been working doing HVAC. So I wasn't sure what was going to happen anyway. Man, it looks like it might rain. It better not start raining. We might have to hurry this up. But what was I saying? I did get some copper from that. So I did a couple copper pours. I showed you guys earlier. So we're going to do some sand casts with that stuff. But, oh, I missed a couple. So I went live earlier at 2:30, man. Not one person showed up for 15 minutes. I was like, something is wrong. YouTube is broke. Something is not right here. I've never had that happen before. So I decided, you know what? Let me just take a little bit of time, do a few things, get some stuff ready, and I'll go back live later and see what happens. And sure enough, as soon as I went live, people showed up again. I don't know what the hell happened with YouTube earlier, but it was down and out. Anyway, let's get this thing going. Let's make some magic happen here. It better not rain, because that's going to suck. Oh yeah. Make sure I had the right crucible there. Man, if anybody is in Maryland and you want to look up the weather real quick, I didn't think it was supposed to rain today at all. I hear you, OC. It's all good, brother. I'm just saying, give me a call when you get a chance. We need to catch up. It's been a while. I know you're a busy man right now. I've been busy as shit too. I get it. Oh, Lisa, I'm not the one. I just started working with my cousin. Well, you can ask me. Actually, my email is in every video. It's in this description too. Just email me, ask me the question, and I'll ask my cousin, and he can let you know. Because I'm just starting out. I was in sales for a lot of years, and then I got laid off, and so now I'm trying to learn a trade. But he's just now starting his business. He's been doing it for like 20 years, but he just now went on his own. So he just got his truck. He just sold his house and bought a truck and is really getting some things going now. So hopefully we'll be doing that soon. So maybe in about 5 years, I might be a little bit more of an expert. But until then, I got a lot to learn. I'm still learning what all the damn tools do. Luckily, I kind of know a lot about tools and how they work and how things, you know, I know enough about everything to get by. But, yeah, I'm still a work in progress when it comes to that. But he knows it all, so feel free. Hopefully we'll beat this rain. By the way, if you haven't already, feel free to double tap the screen. A like is free, and it means a lot. I want to go grab on my PPE. Thank you, UFO. Appreciate that. I think these pieces are going to be pretty good. about a month ago, I went to look over the furnace, and I had my hard hat on, and it has a visor, but I didn't put my chin down enough, and all of a sudden I smelt burnt hair, and yeah, that was my chin hair. It wasn't crazy, you couldn't really tell afterwards, but it's kind of funny. That's happened a few times. You gotta be careful around fire, you know? Do you know where Lansdowne is? No, I don't know where that is. Doesn't sound familiar. About 5 minutes out. Been in the oven long enough. I'm gonna go grab those. Yep, and the silver's melted. We'll be pouring in about 4 minutes. Luckily I got trees overhead right here, but perfect. Yeah, it's sprinkling up on the deck, but I got a bunch of trees over top of me right here, so we got lucky. There's that. I'm gonna need to move this thing inside though. Starts raining on it, that's gonna suck. Don't burn me. Don't do it. My gloves were just close to it and they started smoking. I hope I didn't mess this one up, because you can see on the edge here, well, you might not, maybe you can't all that great. I started to clamp it and it slipped. These barely reach and they're really hard to squeeze all the way. My right hand's a lot better than my left hand, and you can tell. Trying to hurry up because I can definitely hear rain in the distance. All right, we got a good, everything's covered, so that's a good thing. We definitely had enough silver, so that's not a worry at all. I'm just gonna put that in there. We're just gonna let that one chill for a minute. We do gotta get all that burnt sand off. Oh yeah, we definitely got some flashing, but that's cool. I knew that was probably gonna happen on this one. Get all this burnt stuff off real quick before the rain hits. The hotter the sand is when you do this, the easier it is just to kind of peel it right off. If you wait till everything cools down, it's a pain in the ass. So we want to take care of that now. But it looks to me that everything filled out good. This is hot as hell. Holy shit balls. Whew. I don't want to melt my damn tripod. Brand new tripod too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to post a video about that though, because I think it was $43 or something like that. And if you create content, I'm telling you, this is amazing. It's great for like a Canon 80D or any kind of regular camera, or your phone. It even has a thing where it flips both ways, so I can have you vertical or horizontal. I don't have to get an adapter. I got the video posted, I just got to do some editing. I'll try to get to that here pretty soon. And that's all the burnt sand. That's amazing. For 2 pours, and that's it. That is good. As soon as I say that, I knock every single one over. All 4 of them went flying. That's all right. It's all good. And then we'll see what these pores look like. I'm sorry, buddy. Come on back. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't see you there. Son of a bitch, the deer was there eating the whole time. He was sitting at the corner eating. I didn't even see him. He just ran off. Isn't that funny? Furnace going and everything, and the deer just walks up, starts eating. I'm sorry, bud. Come on. Come on, buddy. He'll come back. Watch. It's about to rain too. He'll be back. I just want to get all this stuff up out of the rain before it hits. Come on, bud. I got a fire pit that's like in between me and the corn, and I went to go dump that sand in the fire pit so I didn't have to mess with it. And he was standing right there. I was like, man, talk about luck. I wanted to show you guys my pets, my friends, my buddies. Boy, that's Maryland for you. I don't hear any drops now. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get to this sand, but I'm going to show you the pieces, but I got this other stuff out of the way. I'm going to burn everything up. All right, sorry about that. So now we can pull these out, clean everything off, and see what we're working with here. Oh yeah, look at that. Got some geese flying over in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. Man, there is barely a gap there, and that gap filled in, or didn't fill in, which is pretty good. This might be better than the prototype. I love it when a plan comes together. Of course, we gotta cut the sprue off, and the sprue is about as big as the freaking handle, but it'll look good when it's all said and done. Yeah, this one might be better than the prototype. You know, I had to fill in this handle, so that's always gonna be a little bit weird. I gotta file on that a little bit on both sides too. But that looks pretty good. This actually is gonna come straight down there, so I'm gonna cut it and file it. So you can see it actually comes all the way down. But there's not a lot of room to take the silver in, so I had to use the whole thing up. See, it's not very much. But even in the crack here, I didn't fill in the crack. Everything worked out pretty nice. All these extra little pieces you see, that'll all be cut off. If you can see that. But yeah, we got probably twice as much. And that's why you always, when you pour, you always want to have whatever this is going to weigh, the piece. Now I feel raindrops. You're going to want to have at least that much over top of it. So if this is an ounce, you want at least 2 ounces up here. If you can double it like this, that's even better. That way it makes sure all that silver gets pushed down into every little crevice. So that's going to be a nice one. And then we got one more here, a little arrowhead. There's definitely going to be cleanup on this one. There was definitely some flashing, but it will be all good. I'd rather have flashing than pull something out and it look like crap. And by flashing, I mean all this right here. Like all that's going to be cut off. Let me get in a light. Like all this will be cut off. At the top, I'll cut a sprue across here, and then I'll file it down to where it'll look like it's different chips. Like when they make it, it'll look pretty authentic. You won't even be able to tell that I poured it. But again, probably have twice as much on top as the piece. So everything filled in pretty nicely. I'm happy with that. Come here, Mr. Deer. My little buddy, I haven't seen him since that first day a few days ago. That's the first time I had seen him in probably 6 months. He didn't have horns last time. If you don't know, deer every year they shed their horns and then grow new ones every year. That's why they get bigger and bigger every year. And this is his first year of horns, so he's got little nubs that come out, and it's pretty cool looking to see it. I actually did record a video when he came in last time, so if anybody's interested, I can post a short about that. I'll be back at the comments in a minute, guys. Trying to get situated before the rain hits. Must be nice to be a weatherman, because I tell you what, every time I look on my phone, I got an Apple phone, and every time I look in it, it says it's not going to rain, and it always rains. I feel like the Weather Channel on Apple phones are probably right about 20% of the time. It's kind of ridiculous. Maybe it's just my area, I don't know, but all right, we got all that shit done. So when I talk about PPE, personal protection, that's what I put on. And then I wear that. It's mainly about the visor, because you don't want any accidents splashing you and dealing with that. And then on my legs I wear, because right now I have shorts on, so on my legs I wear another same leather, but it goes from my knee down to over my foot. Let me fix this tripod. We'll be ready to go. Boom. Hopefully we didn't lose anybody here. So yeah, that's all the pours I was talking about earlier. We did a bunch of copper pours just because I had some copper tubing that I cut up and hammered flat so that they weren't hollow. So instead of it being like a round tube, I'd hammer it flat, and it was like a 2-inch piece, about a 1/4 inch. Probably not even that, probably 1/8 of an inch. And then I stacked, 30 or 40 of them down into the crucible. And did that 3 times actually, with just a little bit of extra that he had. So I'm telling you, doing HVAC, I'll be able to do a lot of pours in copper just because. And then the wire, man, a lot of the stuff when we take it out of the house, we got to do something with the old stuff. And before he takes it to the recycling center, I cut all the wire out of it because they don't give you any more for the wires unless you take straight copper to them, which he will do sometimes. We did that with the big pieces, like the line set. The line set is the piece that goes like from the outside unit to the inside unit, and it's usually like 3/4 of an inch, something like that, and maybe 7/8. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, that ends up having oil in the side of it, so you don't want to use that stuff because you get a bunch of slag from it. And I have tried to pour something like that before, and I'll show you the crucible I used. This was the crucible I used for that. Look how nasty it is in there. All the slag that kind of stuck to the edges. And then I still had to go in and dip all the extra crap off top. But this is an old one. And then this is another copper one I used for like just regular stuff. So not quite as bad, but still not new. And then this is my new one. And this is actually called a salamander. And it has like this black paint that's on it, which makes them last 10 times longer. This was my silver one. And you can see it's kind of nasty now. I actually tried to clean it out, but it was too far gone. I'm tossing this one. Actually, I'm saving it because this is my first. I did my first probably 250 ounces of silver through this. So I'm going to keep it as a keepsake. But so much silver. I also have a 2 Auto, which is an awesome furnace too. Thank you to 3D Woodworks for sending that. But that uses those, which last about 8 hours. So it's a huge difference in what you get out of it. But the price is actually a lot different too. I think for the salamander, the one that I just showed you, it's like $60, whereas that one's like 25 maybe, something like that. I've only bought a couple of them, so I'm not positive. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it definitely wasn't over $30. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to finish cleaning everything up because it looked like it was about to rain. So yeah, that's what we did today in silver. Got an MP5. Obviously, I got to cut the sprue off and clean it up, but I think that turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? All the little extra stuff here and there has got to be got off of it, obviously, but around the trigger, it's going to need a little bit of cleanup. Where I was drawing those lines out, that's what it does. It just leaves these little tiny pieces that you can almost just file right off. They're all bent because I was using that brush on them. But yeah, what we got to do is we got to cut this right about there and go straight over with it. But I wanted to make sure everything got down in there good, so I had to use all of what I had. But I think it looks pretty good. Wait till it's finished. When it's finished, you'll be like, yeah. This one doesn't look great because it has flashing. But like I said, all this stuff is going to be cut off. And then I'm going to take a file to it and sharpen it up so where you won't even notice any of this stuff by the time I get done. And this was in a dream catcher that my grandfather made for my grandmother. So this one is pretty sentimental to me as well. I think this is a number 2, if I'm not mistaken. I did a prototype and a number 1, I believe. But this was made by a Native American, so pretty cool piece, in my opinion. You got all these copper pieces laying around. That's just stuff that I had that I decided to practice pouring with, because I don't do a lot of mold pours, and but by not mold, but graphite mold is what I'm talking about, like stuff like this. Stuff like this cross is this one, and it's so small. When you go to pour that in there, man, you got to be really precise with it, because that's what you're trying to get out of it. And so I was trying to practice a little bit with some copper, because I had a bunch of it that I wanted to melt down and make smaller. Like I was saying earlier, you know, if I got a piece that I know how big it is, I can grab these three and melt them down, because I know what that weighs, instead of taking a bunch of big pieces and having to deal with weighing it and trying to figure out exactly what everything is. I can just eyeball it with those, so I like doing it that way. But anyway, Will Land, what is going on, brother? Appreciate you stopping in. Indian head or Lincoln would be cool. I did an Indian head. I did a 2 ounce. You know, the buffaloes, like the rounds that you buy, the buffalo rounds. I did one of those in a 2 ounce. So I took a copper buffalo round and I put it in the sand, and then I did an open sand cast with it, and it ended up being 2 ounces. I think it was a little bit over 2 ounces, and that was really cool. It was actually the edges were reeded too, so I had to take the edges. That's why I used copper instead of silver, because I had to sand the reeded edge off. That way it was smooth. So when I stick it down into the sand and I pull it back out, it doesn't leave a bunch of ridge marks, because you can never make the ridge marks perfect. And you can do it two ways. You can pour it like I did, open, or you can pour it from the side. And if you pour it from the side, obviously, if it's reeded all the way around, it's not going to be reeded wherever you have to take the sprue in. So there's going to be probably an eighth of the side that is going to be smooth, and then the rest will be reeded, and that's going to look stupid. So I just sanded all the reeded edges off, and it looked cool. It was actually a pretty cool piece. Long Live Coins, what's up? Appreciate you stopping in. Detail turned out good. I appreciate that, UFO. But yeah, I did the Indian head, and I do got a bunch of other copper pieces. I got a penny. I got a Lincoln, the VDB penny. I got that in copper, and I was thinking that would look pretty cool in silver, just because. I mean, that's me though. There's a lot of pieces that I think will look cool, and I don't know if everybody else thinks it'll look cool, but there's a lot of stuff I like that I try to pour. And I'll be honest, I mean, shoot, even if something doesn't sell in an auction, usually by the next auction it sells, and if not, it will eventually. I haven't had anything so far out of probably 350 ounces. I've never had anything that I got stuck with that just wouldn't sell eventually. So that's good. But I also put stuff up a lot cheaper than I probably should too. So I guess there's that. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes, right? I don't know what happened to this deer. I don't think he's coming back. I think I scared the shit out of him. He's like, oh, I'm going to sneak up on this dude while he's working. He won't even know that I'm here. And all of a sudden, I just run straight at him. He's like, what the fuck? Let me see if I missed any comments. I might have been back here. What's the weight on the sprue? Cartier, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you stopping in. 7 Stacks, what's up? Sorry, I'm kind of back on the comments here. Internet stinks today. 7 Stacks. I went live earlier at 2:30, like I always do. I stayed live for 15 minutes, and now one person showed up. I was like, man, what the hell did I do to the community? Everybody hates me. That's it. It's time to quit. So I just stopped it, and I was like, I don't know. I'll see what happens. And I ended up, I was like, I'll just go live later and see what happens, you know. And luckily, when I went live, I guess they fixed whatever was happening. Maybe that's what was happening earlier. I don't know. 7 Stacks, she's not too far from me. Is it raining where you're at, 7? It started to rain here a little while ago. I almost got rained out. I was like, crap. I was trying to hurry up like crazy. I had two flasks that were out. Hey, goodbye, Silvertown. Yeah, it's gone. Annapolis is one of the best areas in Maryland. I don't know about that. There's some pretty cool places out west. Then again, I also like, I don't know, see, in Maryland, I'm kind of, I like, that's why I think Maryland is the place to be, if especially if you don't live in the States. Everybody should visit Maryland and try to hit north, south, east, and west and do a little bit of everything. You can go to Washington, D.C., which is not Maryland, obviously, but it's right there. And so that's cool. But then you can go up north to Baltimore, be in the straight ghetto. I mean, just ridiculous part of town, and drive north for 3 minutes and be in the most beautiful country you'll ever see in your life. Loch Raven Reservoir, all that stuff. You can go up to Frederick, which is beautiful. Go out on the Panhandle to Deep Creek Lake and all that. Beautiful areas out there, mountains and all that stuff. Or you can go down to Ocean City, Maryland, which will take you straight to the ocean and live that life. I mean, it's like, it's really all that America has to offer, I think. You get a little bit of everything. If you want to see some mountains, you can go see some mountains. If you want to see the ocean, you can go see the ocean. We've got the bay that comes straight up the middle, and I love the bay. I wouldn't go swimming in it, but I love the bay. Fishing is amazing. You can do freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing. I mean, we have it all. I mean, I don't think that there's a better state, but I'm biased because I live here. But anyway, I digress. I love Maryland. Maryland, as we call it. Maryland, baby! This one is a fish. I don't know what we were talking about then. I'm so far back behind on these comments. I'm sorry, y'all. You know what happens with me. I'm dyslexic. I can't help it. It takes me a minute. Internet stinks. Yeah. Hey, brother, I'm working. Just drop it in and show some love. Pour that thing. I appreciate that, Cartier. If you're still here, I poured the MP5 and my grandfather's arrowhead and a bunch of copper that I was just practicing with, basically. That was all molds, like in those molds. Dang, my phone battery is in the red. Uh-oh. Oh, by the way, I bet on the Orioles losing today, which I hate to do that because I love the Orioles. But they lost and they won me some money. And then I bet on who was it? The Red Sox. I think I bet on the Red Sox winning. And they were winning. It was 9. Dude, oh no. Somebody else. So I won 2 bets. And then I think it was the Red Sox. Somebody was playing. It was 9-0. But if I put $10 on, I could have won 25. I was like, hold on. It's going to be hard for them to come back with 9 runs. Let me take that bet. So I got to check that and see if I won. The Caps lost me money yesterday. Damn Capitals. Ugh. They've been doing so good too. I'm going to bet on tomorrow's game, and they better win. Actually, I already bet on that game, so hopefully they win. I put $10 onto DraftKings, and I turned it into almost $100. I've been betting on mostly hockey, and I figured it's only $10. You know what I mean? Let me see what I can do with it. So I've been trying to see how high I can get my $10. It is a lot of fun. It definitely makes it a lot more fun to actually watch the games when it comes to hockey. The baseball, I was just betting, and I'll just look and see what happens. But there was a dude I was talking to yesterday on the job site. He was talking about how he bets on soccer games, and I forgot what it's called. A no corners. So he bets that there's going to be no corner kicks from around the goal. So I guess if you're trying to score a goal and something happens where there's a foul, you get to kick from the corner of the box around the goal. And if that doesn't happen, then you win. And he said he was making all kinds of money on those bets, but I don't even know. They have so many hockey leagues on there, I wouldn't even know what to go to. Oh, what's the weight on the sprue? I did take that out. Sorry, Orda. I don't know what you're talking about. If you want to know what this is, it's probably 5 ounces. No, 7. No, hold on. That's regular ounces. I might have been more right than I thought. Take a guess, guys. Let's take a guess. What do you guys think this weighs? Before I stick it on. I should probably catch up on comments. Michigan is the same? Not even bad if it doesn't sell. At least with silver, yeah, you can always hold on to it. That is for dang sure. T-Bird, what's up? Good to see you, bro. Chesapeake is really what I mean. I know all those areas. Yeah, man. I love the Chesapeake Bay is awesome. There's really not a bad spot on the Chesapeake Bay. You can go anywhere and have some fun. Please be sure to smash the like button. Hell yeah, T-Bird. Appreciate that. North Carolina is like that. Yeah, we're supposed to be going to the Outer Banks, I think, in July. I haven't been there yet, so I hear that's pretty cool. Or somewhere down there. Oh, you're talking to Lisa UFO. Gotcha. Michigan is pretty awesome, but nothing compared to the home state of Maryland. There you go. LYD Ford knows what's up. Otis, what's happening? Appreciate you stopping in. Don't bet on the Caps once playoffs come. Man, I hear you, but they won me money on every game last time. Not every game, but I did pretty good with them. They played, what was it, 5? I think they won 4 games out of 5? Or was it 4 games out of 6? 4 games out of 6. But those other 2 games I didn't bet on, so I actually did pretty good. I'm only betting $5 or $10 at a time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not rich making $1,000 bets like the dude I was talking to. He had like $16,000 and he showed me. I was like, $16,000? Damn, man. off a freaking soccer too. But then I started to think, so what happened was today I went into the I was looking at baseball. And I was looking at the odds and everything. And even if you go for the team that everybody's expected to win, it was like the Orioles was 30% bets, and it was 70% bets on who they played. I can't remember who it was now. Texas, I think. And I was like, well, shoot, the odds are pretty good, but on $5, I still would have won almost $9. And I'm like, that's just money in the bank. If obviously there's a chance they could lose, but instead of trying to take the underdog all the time because you always win big, I want to start trying to take the teams that are supposed to win and go with that, with home teams and things like that, of that nature, and see what happens and try to build everything up. And then every now and again, when I think a team can do it, because I'm only an expert in hockey. Well, I don't want to say expert, but I don't know other sports that well. I know the Redskins or the Commanders, they lost me some money. The Ravens lost me some money, and that's why I quit doing it. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to put $10 more on and just see what happens. TV test pattern, what's up? Are you farting? Little gassy today? Dan's the man. I hear that. Can I order? I need a 12-inch cross with the bottom end rounded into a thicker half, a circle. Top point, I need to be a handle to grip. Other 2 points don't matter. The measurements, Yeah, I don't really pour stuff like that. I pour and I put it all in an auction and then see what happens. But I don't know. Send me an email. Maybe we can figure something out. I don't know. You might, if you want it in silver, you might have to send the silver to me because I'm really low on silver right now. I really don't have enough to cover anything like that. All right, you guys could be iron. Oh, it could be iron. No, yeah, I only do silver and copper. I do have some aluminum, but I don't have enough to really. I'm just going to do a few pieces. But anything big, I really don't. I don't have a flask big enough to do anything big. That's the size of my flasks right there. So that's the sand cast I just did. And if it can't fit in that, I really can't do it. to make a copy. That's what I do. I make copies of things. So this arrowhead was an actual arrowhead that I made a copy of. And then this was like a little toy gun that I made a copy of. So we'll weigh that in a second, guys. I keep trying to catch up on these comments, and I start running my mouth like I always do. Yeah, that's going to be with the sprue because I'm not going to cut the sprue off right now. Thank you, 3D. I appreciate that. Just got off work. Sweet. Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, I was talking to 3D earlier. Like, I don't know what happened, man. Nobody was there today. I don't. YouTube hates me. But it worked out when I came back. Maybe 2:30 is a bad time now. My break at work is over. Okay. All right. Well, let me weigh this thing. Let's see what this thing weighs real quick. With the sprue. .1. That's regular ounces. Hold on. I thought I changed that. 6.52 ounces. $25 grams. You were way off. 31.1 is an ounce. Let's weigh it in grams, though. We can check out what the grams are. 202.7. I don't know. This really isn't picking it up, is it? I can't see what you can see. 202.7 grams. 6.52 with ounces, Troy. Trump's got one heavy head. Yeah, that was 4 ounces. That one pour I did for Trump, that was 4 ounces. I cannot make it work. I tried so many times to do that pour. I was telling 3D about that, man. I was like, I don't know what to do about this thing. At one point, I tried to take it in the oven. Actually, here, I'll show it to you. I tried to take it inside, and I put it in the oven to see if I could heat it up that way. And I took my oven to 550 because that's the highest it'll go. And it started smoking the whole kitchen out. So I had to I had to stop doing that. That didn't work out. But yeah, that's the mold. But no matter what I do, I heated this thing up. It's sat out for a little while, so it's got pollen all over it. But yeah, man, I tried. I did one in copper, and I did sell that. $5. 7 stacks. I think you got that. She got a deal on that sucker. $5 for this pour. I was like, man. I don't know about the silver. But I did try. I did that sucker, I don't know how many times. I think I tried it 6 times in silver and could never get it to work. And then I tried one in copper. It worked. I tried to do another one in copper, and it didn't work. And that's the only one. So 7 stacks, you're probably going to have the only one. The only other thing I can do is take all these bricks and try to build an oven with it, and then have the torch down in there and just heat it up till it's glowing red and then pour into it. Maybe that'll work. I really don't know what else to do. It's coming. The deer's coming back. I've been talking, so I shouldn't be freaked out. Oh, 2 of them. I knew they would come back. My buddies. Oh, it's the girl and the mama. The boy's not here. Dang it. I wanted you guys to see the little buck. What's up, mama? You having a good spring? I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a while, huh? You're a good girl. Yeah, I got deer for pets. It's kind of crazy. Lisa was the closest. Congratulations. What did you have, Lisa? I never did go back and look at what was what. I think a bird kind of freaked her out. And she's skinny. That's why I bought some corn, because I saw the boy and I was like, man, he looks a little thin. Let me go get some corn for him. But the boy, once he starts growing his horns, he's not going to hang out with the girls anymore. He's going to go try to find a little buck to run around with. So the bucks will kind of team up and hang out together until probably September. $5.5, nice. And she got spooked. A bird kind of dove off the shed or so. I don't know what the hell it did, but it made a bunch of noise and she ran off. She's down there. Come here, mama. Come here, mama. Come on. Come on. Don't be making fun of my voice. That's my I love you voice, guys. Don't be making fun. I love you guys. Come back. Man, you were too skinny. I'm going to fatten you up. I got a whole 50-pound bag of corn, so this is probably the second time they've eaten some. And you can see that little thing right there. The blue, where's my finger? Where? That thing right there. I had that full, and that's what I put out. But that's only from a 50-pound bag, so I'll be able to put corn out probably 15 times for them, at least, probably 20 times if I make it last. Because I put a lot out because I wanted to make sure they know that it's here again. Because it's probably been about 3 months since I put corn out. Pour some butter on that coin. I used to do that when I ate popcorn. You know what I do now? Old Bay. If you're from Maryland, you know what I'm talking about. I pop popcorn, put it in a bowl. I put a little bit to cover the bottom, dump a bunch of Old Bay on it, pour a little bit more on, dump a bunch of Old Bay on it, put a little bit more on, dump a bunch of Old Bay on it. 4 times I do that. And then if you have jalapeno cheese, dip that sucker in some jalapeno cheese, and there is nothing like it. I actually watched a video. Somebody on TikTok was talking about, she used to work at Taco Bell, and she was showing you guys like how to do it at home. And she made one of those, shoot, I don't even know what it's called. Like, you know how you take a big tortilla, and then you put the meat down, and then that's the cheese that she used. And then you take like a hard tortilla, a round one, and then kind of smush that down in it, and then you put all the toppings on top of that, and then you roll it over into like an octagon looking thing, and then fry it on each side. I'm about to make one of those suckers. That looked so good. Old El Paso, she said, was the only ones that make the 12-inch. But you got to get the big old 12-inch tortilla shells. And to be honest, I've only seen the hard shells are always bent for tacos. I've never seen them in a circle. So I don't know how to find those, but I'm going to start looking. She said it was like $30 for everything and can make probably 15 of them. I was like, Gio. The only thing she didn't put on it was onions, which I thought was kind of weird because I love onions. Vegas Stacker, what's up? Awesome living, yeah, man. They're finally coming back in. I put some corn out a few days ago because the little buck came in. I don't know I think you might have been here before, but ever since fall, I've had a doe with 2 babies coming in. This is the doe baby, and the other baby ended up being a buck. And he came in a few days ago with his little nubs, and he came in looking for corn, and there was none, and I felt like the biggest dick. So the next day I went out and bought a 50-pound bag of corn from Tractor Supply. I mean, there's plenty of stuff for him to eat right now, but You can see she looks a little thin. She needs to fatten up some. So we'll get them, at least those three, we'll get them nice and fat. Lee, what's going on? Being from Old Bay replaces, being from Maryland, Old Bay replaces salt and pepper. Amen. Couldn't have said it better myself. I put Old Bay on everything. Every recipe I have, it doesn't matter what meat it is. If it's fish, I use a lot of Old Bay. If it's steak, I use a little bit of Old Bay. If it's chicken, I use a little bit of Old Bay. Pork, a little bit of Old Bay. Doesn't matter. I always use Old Bay. She's going to go back and get with Mama. Where you going? I love you. Don't leave me. Like, this dude's crazy. But anyway, I don't know if it was the doe that was here earlier and probably went back and told Mama, hey, there's some corn. Or if it was a little buck. I didn't see any horns, but I was sitting here pouring, talking to you guys, making all kinds of noise. The furnace was straight going all the way, as loud as it can go. And the deer was sitting there eating. And I went to dump the burnt sand into that fire pit right there. And when I went over there, it took off running. And then they came back. But it was only one that took off running. So, I don't know, the little boy might come back later. It's always fun to see antlers. Even though they're little nubs, it's not much. Like, they go up like maybe 1.5 inches. And then they're kind of like balls after that. Like, it's real thick after that because they're growing. But you never know when alive here. You might see some silver, you might see some copper, you might see some porn, you might see some coins, some coin roll hunting. You never know what might happen. We might just be sitting here looking in the damn woods. You never know when you stop by here. And I like it that way. I'm going to have to start calling it the Variety Channel. Because I showed you guys in a live stream a while back, almost a year ago, I got a GoPro. And I still have yet to use this damn thing. I got a GoPro, the Creator Edition, which actually comes with the stick, little tripod handle type deal, and microphones and just all kinds of stuff. So we're going to do some things, man. So we got 18 people here. What's the consensus? If I was to take a GoPro out, what would you want to see me do? So we have fishing. We have hunting, but that's going to have to be later. But I could take you to the property where I hunt. There's a waterfall there, which I'm thinking about going and doing some arrowhead hunting. So if you guys want to do something like that, I was thinking about making a video, maybe trying to find some arrowheads. There, at this waterfall, at the bottom of it, there's a bunch of seashells, which is crazy because it's not by the sea. So that was kind of cool. We actually, 2 years ago, it rained really bad for a couple weeks, and all the trees that were on the edges, because it's in this bottom of this gully, all the trees slid down, and now you can't see all of the shells. And I was like, well, that kind of sucks, because I wanted to make a video of it, but didn't get that far before that happened. So I was thinking about going over there maybe in the next week or two, and even if nothing else, just taking my phone, making a video. I could probably go live from there, hang out. There's a bunch of little streams that go through there. I was thinking about trying to find some arrowheads, or I also have a couple of metal detectors. Now, they're kind of cheap metal detectors, but I used it at the beach in Ocean City once, and it worked. But I haven't really used it for anything around here. There's actually a park that's not too far from me that has a really old building on it that's right next to the water. So you could tell that boats used to bring something into the land right there, because there's a building, and it's only probably 12 by 12, 12 by 16. It's not very big. But you can tell at the top of it, there's some kind of like pulley system, for lack of a better word. It's not a pulley necessarily. It's like a long bar that goes down. And you could tell like they would take something off of a boat and probably bring it over to some horses, and then the horses would take it wherever. I guarantee you there's some kind of silver dollar somewhere around there. I just have a feeling. So I'm going to start looking around there, seeing if we can pick up some kind of metal. But that's another thing I want to do. I bought that probably 3 years ago now, and really haven't used it to make a video metal detecting. So I want to do that. Fishing, like I said, maybe some hunting, maybe some just kind of hanging out on the property, maybe take a four-wheeler ride around the property. Who knows? Something like that. I'd also really love to get a kayak and do some kayak fishing, because there is so many places. I also have a crap ton of ponds that aren't too far from me that have good fishing in it. And so I'm going to do some pond fishing and either set the GoPro up on my chest. Set the GoPro up on my chest or on my head and just do some fishing. Take my phone too. Maybe even take the Canon. Who knows? Have 3 cameras set up. I do got 4 batteries for the Canon, but I only have 1 battery for the GoPro. So, and then my phone will last a while, but I got the iPhone 16, which lasts way longer than my iPhone 7 did. It was a huge upgrade for battery life. That is for damn sure. I am running pretty low though, so I am going to probably have to end this soon. Rockfish at Chesapeake Bay will be hot. When? When do you do that, Lee? Hey, if you want to meet up and do some fishing sometime, I'm game. Let me know, Lee. So I went to Kit and Arrows. I think I told you this story before. I went to Kit and Arrows years and years ago, the day before the season opened for rockfish, because we were testing just to see if anything was there. I caught 3 36-inch rockfish. And I think they had to be like 32 inches. I caught 3 of them and couldn't keep them. It was me and my stepbrother. So we go back the next day, and there was people everywhere because it was opening day, and didn't catch a damn thing. And I haven't been back since. But Kent and Arrows is cool, but there's not a whole lot of spots you can really go. So if you know some good spots, I am down, man. Let me know. June, yeah, June's my birthday too. I was thinking about maybe having a birthday bash. Nothing crazy, just coming on here on my birthday and hanging out. Spending a little bit of time with you guys. Graydon, what's going on? How you doing? Appreciate you stopping in. Nature walks, that's another thing, UFO. I got a lot of great places to hike, and there's some really cool areas here. I got a park that I can, but you kind of got to walk down to it because they closed the gate, but it's not that far. But if you walk down, it's like maybe half a mile. And then you can actually see the Bay Bridge from this opening. And then there's a little point that goes out, and they have like 5 or 6 different beaches there. It's not a lot of walking around when it comes to like the woods and everything, but it's just a cool area where I think that would make a pretty cool video. I might try to make a video of that place. I actually kind of halfway did it last year, but I never posted it. But I'm thinking about doing some stuff like that. UFO grew up on Old Bay. UFO, I used to carry Old Bay in my book bag when I would go to my dad's on the weekends. So I know what you mean. I carried it in my book bag because it's so good on popcorn, and you can put it on everything. And back then, I was a little fat kid too. So I would take Old Bay and pour it out in my hand, and then lick my finger and then dip my wet finger into it and just eat it like that. Like I would eat straight Old Bay. Like that's how bad I am. Well, was. I'm not like that anymore. Unless I'm eating crabs. If I'm eating crabs, the way I cook crabs is I cook them in beer with water, apple cider vinegar, and then douse them with Old Bay in the water and on top. So when I go to eat a crab, I will lick the damn shell of the Old Bay. I'll just lick the Old Bay off and get the Old Bay in my mouth, get nice and hot, and then I'll just sit there and pick the rest of the crab and don't even use any more. I'll just lick the damn shell. I love Old Bay, man. I can't. There's nothing better. There is no spice that's better. There's a J.O. they make for venison that's pretty good. but that's for venison. For steaks, you know, you can use it on steak too, obviously. But yeah, there's a blue jay right there. Oh, missed it. But anyway, I was trying to catch back. I think MK bars used to make them really small, but people love them. I remember seeing them go for $90. What are you talking about, LD? LYD. I lived next to the Patuxent River. Oh, Patuxent Reservoir. What's the Patuxent Reservoir? I don't know what that is. I don't know if I've seen. I know the Patuxent River. Patuxent Reservoir. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to check that out. We used to fish near the overpass on Route 29, close to Burtonsville. Okay. Yeah. See, on the Patuxent River, I'm where I go is Route 4, which goes up eventually the Beltway. So if you were coming from DC, you get on the Beltway and then come down Route 4, and that's the Patuxent River right there. And you can walk down for probably a mile on one side. You can't really walk down the other side because there's a little river that comes up. But my grandmother used to live in a place where her house backed up to the water, but she's long gone. She passed away years ago. But that was always a cool place to fish too, because you can catch bass in there. You can catch perch this time of year. I think everybody's there now trying to catch perch because it's brackish water. It's not fresh. It's like, you know, the Patuxent River is off of the bay, so you can catch bass, but you can also catch a rockfish. Or a lot of people, there's another park that's really cool where you can walk around that sucker forever, and there's a bunch of old cabins and everything like that. Last year was the first time I went to this place, and I was like, man, this would be a cool video, walking around and just taking a video of a hike. So I think I'm gonna do that kind of stuff at some point. Probably soon, because I don't want the bugs to get too bad. I don't deal great with mosquitoes and it being 95 and, you know, 95% humidity. I hate humidity. And Maryland, that's all we get. But anyway. Nice hardwood out back. Yeah, squirrel's pissed off. Here was a couple deer here for anybody just showing up. I had a couple deer here earlier. That's why we're looking at the corn. I got a little buck that's coming in. He just now started growing his horns. So I went and picked up some corn for him so he can have a place to come and hopefully get him on video. And I've got so many videos on every time I went hunting, I would take my Canon 80D with me, right? And I got a thing I would screw into a tree and then stick my camera on it. I never got a deer with that being hooked up. Actually, I shot a really huge 6-point that was probably 9 years old. Huge 6-point. But it was too dark for the camera to pick it up, so I never got that on video. But I did have the camera. I was videoing that day. But I've got turkeys on video on my phone, on my Canon. I've got squirrels and foxes and just, I mean, you name it. There's been plenty of times where I've had turkey fly in all around me, or they'll walk in and then fly up and roost in the trees all around me. And there's been other days where I come out in the morning and all of a sudden the sun comes up and turkeys start flying out of the trees. It's pretty cool. PG County is where I hunt. Like I said, man, Maryland is kind of like the best of both worlds. And PG County is one of those things too, where PG County runs almost to DC. So you can be in the straight inner city and then drive a half hour south and be in no man's land, which is where I hunt. And it sucks too, because the population in the north is so much that they won't let you use a rifle. You have to use a shotgun. I'll lift you guys up some so I can see a little better. But yeah, the population is what determines whether you can use a shotgun or a rifle. And because the population in PG County is so high, in the north part, in the south, you can't use a rifle. You have to use a shotgun. So I always use a Remington 870 with a slug. I have a rifle barrel for it, and I've killed many a deer at 100 yards with that thing. But I really wish I could use my 30-06. That would be a lot more fun. But there's really no shot at the farm where I hunt. There's no shot over 100 yards, really. There's nothing I'm going to take that's over 100 yards. There's so many gullies, and, we have a pretty big field, but that field is probably from point to point before the hill. You're only going to get about 100 yards. Fishing the columns of the bridge. Yeah, that's what we would do. Try to cast out to the columns right next to them, or, get up right on the edge, or throw past it and kind of come along the edge of it. Yep. That's how you catch a lot of rockfish. So around here, there's some neighborhoods that you can go to. It's all private, so you got to know people, but there's piers everywhere. Everybody likes to go out to the end of the pier and cast out off the end of the pier. Well, that's not how you're going to catch rockfish. What you need to do is catch back to the rocks, because a lot of times the water's edge will be full of rocks. And that's why they call them rockfish, because they're always up close to the rocks. A lot of people don't realize that. So if you cast under the pier or back to the shore, a lot of times that's how you catch spot and rockfish. I caught a flounder a couple of years ago too. That's the only flounder I've ever caught in Chesapeake Bay. But yeah, that's the only time. I've only caught one flounder. I caught one in Ocean City, but here in this part of Maryland, that's the only one I ever caught. But yeah, I mean, you fish columns with, pier columns. That's how you catch a lot of bass too. I grew up on a bass boat. My dad had a bass boat my whole life, and so I grew up on fishing a bass boat. But I don't have a bass boat. I have a little John boat, but I don't really use it for that. So I throw a book bag on. I take 4 rods with me, 2 in each hand. I have a different thing on each rod, and I just go to ponds, man. Even if I got to do a little bit of hiking. I knew a really good pond I could take you guys to, but last time I went there, I got kicked out. And I set the hook on it had to have been a 9-pound. I set that hook, and I told the dude I was with, I got him, because the guy was telling me about this big 9-pound bass that he caught there the day before. So that's why we went back, because both of us caught a few fish. He caught a 6-pounder that day. So I'm like, man, we got to go back. Let's go back. So we go back, and one of the guys saw us walking down in there, and then I throw a couple times. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th cast. I got you. We're back. My phone died. I was outside and my phone died. I had to charge it. Stick it on the charger. I don't even know if I can fit you in here. Shit. Well, if you're still here, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Man, we're in the studio now. I had to get to my charger. But, yeah, we were talking about some fishing and some other stuff. Are you guys still here? Give me a 5x5 if you're still here. All right, Lisa. The rifle's 25 grams of silver. Yeah, it might be. No, I think the rifle is a little bit, I think it's over an ounce. Your first real money was cracking open crabs. That's awesome, UFO. I love eating crabs. We just got crabs over the weekend, actually. I went and picked up 2 dozen mixed males. They're pretty good. I remember fishing off the Bay Bridge for bluefish back in the 90s. Yeah, man, I love a bluefish. People like to eat rockfish more than bluefish, but personally, I like bluefish better. You just got to get that little oil thing out. If you were lucky, you could wear them out enough to pull them up without busting the line. There you go. Get some big ones on there. I wouldn't mind catching a big one. I don't think I've ever caught a big bluefish. I feel like a foot, like for me, for a bluefish is probably like a foot of anything I've ever caught. Oh, what happened when you set the hook? So yeah, I set the hook, right? And I didn't have braid on that one. That was like a new rod I just bought. And I don't know what the pound test was, but I set the hook and I feel the fish and I'm like, dude, I got him, right? And I'm sitting there, I could tell it was a fish, like it's jerking, it's moving, it's like, when when you set the hook, the fish is kind of like, like it was trying to do its thing. And I was like, I got him. It was like this, snap. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Snap the freaking line. So I never caught the damn thing and never got to go back because right after that happened, a dude walked up and he said, hey, what are you doing here? I was like, we're fishing. What do you think we're doing here? You know what I mean? It's a pond, right? I'm fishing. He's like, do you live here? We're like, no, we're visiting the guy up the street. And he was like, what house? I was like, the first house. He's like, I don't believe you. So yeah, it was just one of those kind of deals. You always got those dickheads that don't want you to fish. I mean, it could have been worse. I could have been out there, doing drugs or worse, But yeah, didn't catch that damn thing. But like I said, I had never felt a bass that heavy in my life. My personal best is a little over 5 pounds. So even when he caught that 6 pound, that was bigger than my personal best. And I was like, man, we're going back tomorrow because I want to catch one of those. And never did. Now, in Maryland, there's a lot of snakeheads. I've caught maybe 10 snakeheads in the past 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, probably 4 years. Maybe 5 years. So about 5 years, I probably caught about, 2 a year, probably something like that. Nothing crazy. But there's actually a pond. There's a Home Depot. If anybody is around Maryland, if there's a Route 4, we were talking about the Patuxent River. Well, if you go a little bit north from there, there's a Home Depot. It's the next exit. It's 301. And behind that Home Depot, there is an amazing pond that has snakeheads, bass, anything you can imagine. And if you have a little paddle boat or a kayak or something like that, and you can get in there, which you can because it's really easy. You can pull right up to it and just park and throw it over. I really wished I had a freaking kayak because I've been wanting for years to take a kayak in there. I almost bought one too when they were cheap. Now they want like $500 for even the smallest pieces of crap ones, and that's too much for me. I had to get one used, but yeah, I'm just not in the market for something like that right now. But at some point, I am going to get one because I would love to do some fishing videos on a kayak. I think that'd be a lot of fun, even just on the Patuxent or whatever. Yeah, talking about pescados. Pescados? Did I say that right? Pescados? Pescados. I feel like that's how you say it. Pescados. The key with bluefish is cutting the red line out of the fillet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the little oil line. Yeah, you got to cut that out because it just has oil in it and it tastes gross. You missed the last 3 minutes. I'm sorry. Yeah, my phone died. I had to, that's why we're inside now. I saw the red line was getting smaller and smaller, and it doesn't tell you the percentage unless I go into it. So, yeah, it died on me. But anyway, so the last auction, I gotta keep this thing plugged in. Oh, it's catching up on my stage. I still have a CC channel rounds that I toned. So these will probably be up in the next auction. I got some cool blues and purples and all kinds of colors. Some ripples. They're numbered. This is number 8. I got, no, that's number 6. Is that supposed to be number? No, that's it. I read it wrong. So we got number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 8. And then we got a turtle. This I actually poured after. So we got another turtle. I got to stamp it and everything. I still got to clean the sprue a little bit better. And then this right here. This is one that everybody passed on. Nobody bid on this one. United States of America, 1776. 2.33 ounces. This is a prototype. So yeah. That's what I have when it comes to pours. And I got a couple other pours over here. I don't know if anybody likes Tool, the band, but this was something I made because I love Tool. And it's my favorite band, but it's also funny because it's an actual tool in 2 different ways. That was my second sandcast I ever did. And then, oh, this was my second sandcast I ever did in copper. And then I got some other people's pours, Silver Vikings. This was one that they did for 2020 for COVID. Man, I'm kind of half shadow banned right now. I probably shouldn't talk about that. I shouldn't say certain names. I've got a bunch. If anybody's looking for any proof quarters, I've got a bunch of these. I bought 2 rolls of them at one point, like this. Oh, this is 2011. I'm keeping these because that's when my daughter was born. But I got the whole set, and there's plenty of other ones I have the whole set as well. So if anybody's looking for a certain year, or if you're just looking for 1 or 2, for a certain state, certain park, whatever, I got a lot of that stuff. I got a bunch of the 1960s too. Proof silver quarters. So let me know if anybody wants any of those. I found this $20 star note. I found a $1 star note the other day too. I think in the next auction, I'm probably going to put these up. I've been holding on to these because I kind of like them. Sorry, my chair keeps messing up. So we got a 1960. This is a proof set. Silver proof set. 1960, 1961, 1962, 1963. And I actually think I have a 1964. No, 1961. I have another 1961. Check this out. I ended up taking them out of the plastic. The cellophane was kind of weird. So I took them and put them in the flips. But see, all of them have a little bit of toning here and there. And I didn't want them to continue to tone and have like some kind of weird toning like this one did. But look at the toning on this bad boy. This sucker is blue. This camera's not going to do it justice. Yeah, this camera's not going to really. It's got a blue tone to it, and then it has a purple hue that goes all the way around it. Isn't that cool? There is not many of these out there. And I got the whole set. It even comes with that. They're all from the same proof set. They're all toners a little bit. But yeah, I might put that up in the next auction too. I got to get rid of my stuff, man. I wish I could hold on to it, but I can't. I'm just at a point in life right now where I got to get rid of some stuff. And it is what it is. But, you know, if I start doing some more work with the HVAC and everything, I'm kind of in the middle of doing that right now and trying to pour when I can. So I'm definitely going to have one more auction. And then after that, I don't know when the next one will be. It'll probably be a little while. But all this stuff is for sale. I mean, I even have copper stuff. I'm thinking about putting some of my, so I coin roll hunt every now and again. And all the stuff I've been finding, I'm going to put up. And I'm going to start them cheap and just see what happens. But these are all errors in quarters. Those are errors in pennies. Even got some more bar pours I'll probably end up melting and making some kind of sand cast with. But so I was telling you guys about the quarters earlier. Remember when we were talking about quarters? What is going on with this thing? Hold on. Here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to keep you guys plugged in, and if I get too far away from the stage, it's gonna pull my extension cord out. But I was talking about taking my silver, or taking copper and making silver out of it, right? So something like this. What I'll do is, I'm not worried about this side. But this side, I'll stick it into the sand, I'll pull it back out, and then I'll make a copy of it in silver. So this is that design, which everybody knows. That's not what I was thinking about doing. I'm just showing you kind of first one I found here. But there's stuff like this. Like, wouldn't that be cool in silver? A copy of a really old penny? Or something like this? Or, I don't know about that one, because it's not quite a Morgan. This, man, I was thinking this. See, this is when I was saying, like, I really like a lot of this stuff, but I don't know if anybody else would. But that in silver would be amazing. In 2 ounces. Because you almost have to make them 2 ounce. I did one of these in 2 ounces already. But I did have 2 auctions before that sold. I was talking about the 1909 VDBS. It even says it. Like the back, I'm not going to copy the back. I just want to copy the front. But I think that even that one would be cool in silver. Gadita, thank you. I appreciate that. You are awesome. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Thank you. William, what's going on? What do you mean? What's the starting price on what? I collect them early proof janks. Yeah, I know what you like, Ganita. I think you got all my $2 bills, though. I don't think I have any more $2 bills left. Well, let me show you. That was only a little stack of those. We got this one. That would be cool in silver. 2020 to remind you of the pandemic, which sucked. And I like it because it says survivors. This is another cool one, too. I actually still have one of these in silver that I was going to melt down today, but I didn't. Because I wanted to make a copy of it, but I have it in copper. So why try to make a copy of one in silver if I have it in copper, you know? This one I like a lot, too. That in a 2 ounce copper round that I pour that's stamped on the back. So like I said, that's not going to be on the back. It's just going to be a plain back, and then I'm going to stamp it. That is cool, I think. That's definitely probably going to be one I try to do. But I want your opinion on any of these. Let me know. If you see something you like, let me know, because it's something I'll try to do. This one right here. I think that's cool, but I'm not really into the Chinese stuff that much, so I don't know about that one. Bellows, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. You're awesome. Cap Train, choo-choo. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. I know you do, Gadita. Thank you. Oh, when the errors. I don't know. I got to look up and see what's what. But I'm thinking about, I don't know, certain ones, I might start buck and go and see what happens. It's just things that I really can't hold on to anymore, that I don't necessarily want to let go of, but at the same time, I kind of need the money. I got a lot of things. It's spring, you know, there's so much stuff to do right now. And, you know, I could use the money. So I'm just not big into holding on to that stuff anymore. For now, I'm kind right now, I'm kind of more into weight. Like, I just want to buy more rounds, more shot, things that I can melt, really. I think that's going to be my stacking future for the next few years. So all the collectible stuff I'm kind of letting go of. This is another one. This is my favorite quarter design, other than the drummer boy. I think that in a 2-ounce silver would be awesome. Couple of the 1880s proof cents. Gems, but hey, brother. Good chatting with you. Well, I appreciate you hanging out. It was good chatting with you. Stop by anytime. It's always a pleasure having you guys hanging out with me, man. I really have a good time doing these lives. That would be cool in silver. That's another one I want to make a copy of at some point. Just the side of it and make it a 2-ounce and stamp the back. That's one of my favorite designs. That's another one I want to do. I love quarters. That in silver, I think, would be cool. And even if it's a 1-ounce, I think it would still be cool. It's just easier to do a 2-ounce because when you press these in the sand, right? When you pull it out, it's about the size, the thickness of this. But if you just pour 1 ounce in, it's not going to fill out all the way like this one. Like this is a 2-ounce, but this is a little bit heavy. So when I'm talking about making copies of these, this is what it would look like. Kind of thick. So, but this one I actually did sand on both sides. That's why it's so flat. When I do an open sand cast, it'll be kind of rounded on the back. But I could do it at a 1-ounce too. I just can't do it open. I'd have to do it in the sand and take, you know, have the whole sprue and vent lines and all that stuff. And then this one too. I like this one a lot. So just some designs I was thinking about that I think would be cool to take my copper and make copies of them in silver. And then you got things like the bars. These are cool pieces. I don't know if anybody else collects copper, but I like it because you can get really cool designs for cheap. Well, a lot cheaper than silver anyway. You got the 5, the old Indian head 5. You got the 10 Buffalo. The 100 Franklin. Pretty cool. That's some of my collection. You know, I'm so anal when it comes to putting my anything, any kind of silver coin, even the quarters you see, even my quarters, if they're not in a flip, they're in some kind of capsule. Even my copper, even my little 1-ounce copper bars, I put everything in the capsules. I've always been like that. Because you know what? When you go to sell it, I don't care what anybody says. When you go to sell it and it's in a capsule and it doesn't have any scratches on it, when people sit there and play with their silver and bang everything together, I'm always like, why? Stop it. Stop. Stop the madness. But that's just me. It's also fun to play with it too. So like, you know, you have some that you play with. You have some that you don't. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I still have left over that will definitely be in the next auction. I do have some more bills. I've actually got some, oh, the earrings we were talking about earlier. I don't know if that person is still here or not. But that was the earrings I was talking about. Little hoop earrings. I bought these when gold was like $1,700 an ounce, and you know what it is now. It says $3.99. I'd sell these for $100. And then if anybody's bellows, if anybody's looking to just saying, got a little something. And then, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Some weird stuff, kind of Indian stuff going on here. And I got some 1979 stuff. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I was trying to possibly do an auction next Friday, but I don't have enough pours. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get enough pours ready by then. But I've got bills coming up, so I'm kind of like at a spot where I'm trying to figure it out. And then I just realized Mother's Day was Sunday, and I was like, wow, that kind of came out of nowhere. How'd that happen? Brooke Stacker, what's up? William says, I like the eagle print. Yeah, the eagle prints are cool. SLQs. Yeah, for sure. LYD, I love those. But what's up, Brooke Stacker? Hope you're doing well. How's the furnace? You broke the furnace, right? Did you figure that out yet? Dude, you had me cracking up. What was the comment I left? I said it in the comments. Oh, I can't remember now. Instead of lost wax, Brooke Stacker, he says, this is the old lost furnace method. I was cracking up. It had me dying. I was like, yes, that is funny as hell. So I left a comment saying, oh, the old, the old. Oh, never mind. It was funny, though. Uh-oh, Bellows. I'll send you some pictures. Yeah, you did. So what did you do, Broke? Did you take the one and then marry it with the other one that you had? I'll be honest with you, Broke Stacker. I'm going to be honest right now. And don't take it the wrong way. But every time you drop something in your crucible, I cringe. It always makes me scared. Every time. So whenever I put anything in my crucibles with not because they're so thick when it comes to gas, and that's what I'm used to. And I'm used to having like nice beefy crucibles. But when I got that electric furnace, I was like, man, I'm so afraid that thing's gonna break, and I hear that they break all the time. So every time I put anything in it, I always take it out, and I'll take it out and I'll put it sideways, and I'll stick the piece in there and just kind of let it go slow. I'll turn it and let it go slowly down into the bottom because I'm so afraid I'm gonna break it. And I guarantee that's what happened when you threw that piece down in there. It cracked it just enough to where once the heat hit it, it was done. It happens to so many people, man. I'm so freaked out that that's going to happen to me. You're still working on it? Cool. Dunking on these crucibles. Yeah, I think it got down. Did it get down into the electronics on the bottom? It looked like it might have got down up into that stuff. But if you're going to replace the whole bottom out anyway, because you said you had one that was all good with that. So it'll be cool if you can. It'll be interesting to watch that video too. If you can get 1 out of 2, I think that'd be pretty cool. You should definitely do that. I mean, I think the one that I got, I think those new were like $330. So they're not cheap to buy new ones. There is some out there though, man. I don't know if you're on TikTok, but there's some places on TikTok in the TikTok shop that you can buy an electric furnace for, I think like $170 right now. And it kind of looks like the one you have. I don't think it's a 2 auto, but it kind of looks like the old 2 autos, whatever that brand is. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure you came around when I first got that one, that cheap one I bought, and I did a live stream, and the first time I used it, the lid cracked, and ended up getting my money back for it. So those things aren't great. You definitely get what you pay for, I guess. You would think all the components kind of come from China anyway. You would think any kind of component that's in something electric like that is probably going to be the same thing. But, you know, who am I? I'm just a dummy that doesn't know anything about that sort of thing. Here's something kind of cool that, for those of you, we were talking about Maryland today. It's a tiger shark tooth from Maryland, from the Chesapeake Bay, found in the Calvert Formation. 8 to 25 million years old. I got a few of these. Thinking about adding these as like giveaways. I used to, when I used to do giveaways back in the day, and I would add 1 or 2 of these here and there. Little shark's teeth, nothing crazy. But the thing is, doing these as giveaways for people that are just in the streams, if they don't buy something, so I can just throw it in their package, it kind of sucks because I can't just put this in an envelope. It's gonna, it's gonna cost me at least $5 to ship this. So I kind of ran into an issue where like how do I give these away? You know what I mean? Now, if it's something where like before when I did it, I was giving quite a few things away, so it was going to go into that type of package anyway. But for giveaways, it's nice when you can just throw it in an envelope and just pay that $1.50 instead of the $5 for a big one. I don't do Tic Tac. Yeah, I mean, you should, man. You should get on there. There's a lot of people that pour on TikTok. There's a lot of poor artists. There's a lot of coin people on there too. But I don't know. It's hard to really get any kind of like YouTube is going to be better, especially for you. Like you're doing really good when it comes to engagement, and over there it's really hard to get engagement. It's like it's tough. I mean, I have like 2,200 followers over there, but I post a video, I might get like 4 likes. You know what I mean? So it's tough. But just what you can see and what people are doing, it's kind of fun to go over there and hang out and watch. And they do live streams as well. Jack Silver is on there. He does live streams a lot. He's on YouTube too, but he doesn't really post as much on YouTube. Jack Silver, Wild Pig Pours. He's on TikTok. You can hang out with him sometimes. And there's like 3 or 4 other ones. I can't think of the names right now. But people that are well known. And you can just kind of go in and hang out. And there's not usually a whole lot of people in the room. I mean, there might be 10 or 15 of you hanging out. So it's kind of cool. You definitely kind of get a little bit more, personable with them. Like I remember hanging out with Wild Pig when I first found him. Well, I sat and talked to him for a couple hours in his live stream. It was a good time. Picked up a couple pours from him too because of it. I ended up trading them though. Should I liquidate 60 ounces of silver to buy a car? What kind of car are we talking about? I'm pretty sure that 60 ounces for a car seems very cheap. So I'm going to just say yes. I'm just going to say yes right off the bat. Seems like a good deal to me. You got somebody that's going to trade you a car for 60 ounces? What is silver? Let's say 33 times 60. That's about $2,000, close to $2,000, 1980. Unless silver fell today. So you got somebody's got a car for about $2,000? Very clean Dodge Stealth. What's a Dodge Stealth? I don't even know what that is. Dodge Stealth. Is that an older car? Dodge Stealth. Not sure what that is. I know what a Dodge Ram is. I do like the Dodge, the Challenger and the Charger. Am I getting that right? I think I'm getting that right. Kind of having a brain fart right now. Raging Cajun, what's going on? Appreciate you stopping in. Probably shouldn't trade a appreciating asset for a depreciating one. But hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. Obviously, he needs a car, so that's where I was thinking. I've been selling off a lot of stuff because I got to do what I got to do too. When I first started stacking, I was doing it as something that I was never going to touch, and you know, unfortunately, I've had to touch it. So, but that's why we do it. You know, we all stack for that reason. Sometimes things don't go as planned, and things happen. You know what's funny? I got a truck. I got a 2500 HD Chevy Silverado. It's a few years old. You know, it's an older one, but not the other day, probably 2 years ago. 2 years ago, the what's it called? Damn it. Well, first of all, it doesn't have any air conditioning right now because I guess the blower is broke. I got to get that fixed. So it'll seep cold air out, but it won't blow cold air. So like I kind of have air conditioning, it's just not blowing. So when it's like in Maryland, 95 percent humidity, you're sitting here sweating your balls off even, every time you stop, because when you stop, it's not blowing air. But when you're driving, it blows enough cold air to where you're fine. But man, midsummer sucks. I got to get that fixed. But that's wrong. I got the check engine lights on. I mean, my ABS light's been on for probably 3 or 4 years. And what is the other one? Oh, the airbag. It's telling me, like when you look at the odometer, it says that I need to service my airbag. And I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Does anybody know what that means? Has anybody had to service an airbag before? I'm hoping it doesn't blow up in my face when I'm driving down the road one day. I don't know what's up with that. I was like, dang. 100% at least you have it. Yeah. All right, bro. But yeah, that's why we stack. I used to have a pretty amazing stack, I'll be honest. I was pretty proud of my stack. And nowadays, it's not anything like it used to be. But, I fell on hard times and had to get through a tough time in life. And, it is what it is. But that's why we do it. I definitely got into when I first got into it, I thought this is stuff I'll hold on to till the day I die, and then my family can sell it when they need it. So it does suck when you got to kind of tap into that. Because then you kind of feel like you're letting your family down a little bit, No, I don't even have buttons on my steering wheel. No, I don't have any buttons on my steering wheel. It's a 2007. No, 2013. Wait, what the hell is it? Yeah, 2007. It's almost 20 years old. It's 2007. So I don't even have all that. But it said that for a little while. Service airbag soon. I just never served it because I think it's kind of ridiculous. And of course, I do have one on the passenger side too, which I usually just turn off anyway. But anyway, we're gonna go outside. I'm gonna go burn one more before I end this. But yeah, if anybody's interested, stop by the next auction. Some of this stuff will probably go up. I'm gonna have some pours. This is some of the pours I'll have right here. A couple of them. And you get a special sticker too. These are fabric stickers that I had made. Damn things cost me $2. But I thought it was cool. There's only 10 of them, so the number 8 channel round comes with the number 8 sticker. But yeah, some of that. I got a bunch of errors I'm going through. I'll probably start them off cheap just to see. But I'll make a video about all that stuff. Probably do some more coin roll hunting. I don't know. I might pop one day and beat the drums to death. If anybody's into that. Either that or break one of these bad boys out and jam a little bit. I wish I could come on and do a DJ set, but I can't do it because all that stuff is they jam you up. Anytime you try to play something like that, it jams you up. It's ridiculous. Hold on, we're gonna go outside real quick. Never know, there's deer might be back out there. Lose anybody? Nope. Be back. Acts weird when I come out here. This is my my shed. It's an addition that I put onto the shed. So you go into this door, and then I got double doors on the back. That goes out to the, that's where the deer are. I had a couple of them here earlier, but this is what I poured earlier. I kind of made this a little too high. What the fuck was that? Oh, little damn squirrel. Scared the shit out of me. See, we did 2 sand casts earlier. I still got to cut the sprue off. This was a little arrowhead. It's got a lot of flashing, but I want to cut. It looks crappy now, but all that'll be cleaned up. And this will be up in the next auction too. Like I said, it needs to be cleaned up, but this is a number 1 too. I did a prototype before, and this is the number 1. All these copper bars and the crosses and rounds, I don't know. I might throw up something like this, buck and go, see what happens. I don't know. Maybe a heart or two. But I always pour into bars and things like that because I know what they weigh, and I can throw them. If I'm doing a sand cast, I can just pick up a few and do a pour with them that way. I did some HVAC work for the past couple weeks, and so I got some of the stuff that didn't have oil running through it. Anything that was like fresh and clean, I grabbed a couple wires and things like that, and then melted it down, and it got 25 pours out of it, which isn't a whole lot when it comes to ounces. I think, no, it was probably about 30 ounces. But I mean, think about that. That's 30 ounces I really didn't have to pay for. So that's all profit when it comes to sand casting. But, you know, people gotta be willing to bid on them, I guess. You don't have power windows in your Jeep, but you have buttons. Yeah, I do have power windows. The funny thing is, on the driver's side, both of the levers that you pull to pull the window up and down, both of them broke off. So I have to have them right in the right spot and then push 10 times, and then it finally works. And then the other one, it might pop out sometimes. I have to put it back, get it right in the right spot, and then put the window down. That thing is such a piece of crap. It's old, man. But I only have like 150,000 miles on it, and those things last forever. At 80,000, I put a new transmission in it, so the motors are great. So I know I probably can run that thing to 300,000 miles. So I'm only halfway through it. But all the other stuff starts breaking. So now I'm in that process of all those little things that start to happen here and there, needing to take care of stuff. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, that's where we feed the deer out here. Rest in peace, Joe Rogan. What's up, Danny? How you doing? Appreciate you stopping in. What happened to Joe Rogan? Don't tell me Joe Rogan died. Rhonda, what is going on, girl? Appreciate you stopping in. April, hello. Appreciate you stopping in and hanging out with us. We poured a couple pieces earlier. Now we're just kind of winding down. But I figured I'd hang out for a little while. But Danny, what are you talking about? Rest in peace, Joe Rogan. Did he die? Don't tell me that happened. The Numas Maniac, what's going on? Appreciate you stopping in. How you doing? Uh-oh, we got a squirrel. We've got a little squirrel. I had a couple deer here earlier, but they left. You just now got the notification, Rhonda? That's funny. I went live at like 4 o'clock. Yeah, I think it was probably around 4. I've been live for 205 minutes. My phone died though, so I had to run inside. I don't know if that changed anything. I had to run inside and charge it for a minute. Lost everybody. We still had 3 people left. But yeah, earlier I went live at 2:30 like I always do for a Thursday pour day. And yeah, nobody showed up for 15 minutes. I didn't have 1 view. So I ended it. I don't know what that was about. But evidently YouTube was doing something. Maybe they had a service going on or something. They had a service call. I told Rhonda earlier, I was like, maybe people just don't like me anymore. I don't know. It's either YouTube's messing with me or I done lost everybody. I'm glad that's not the case because I love hanging out with you guys. You're on the phone, not home yet? I just woke up from Mind Out. Yeah, so where's everybody at right now? I'm in Maryland. It's 7:41. I think I might have some leftover tacos for dinner. So good. I'm gonna make one of those gordita wrap things, I think, soon. I was on TikTok and somebody was talking about the recipe of how to make it, and I was like, man, I gotta make me one of those. The little octagon looking thing that they have at Taco Bell. Yeah, I gotta make one of those. My nap, bloody autocorrect. I hear that. Autocorrect is not my friend at all. Still in Indiana? Yeah, we were talking about all kinds of stuff earlier. Hanging out with some deer. Talking about fishing. Definitely want to do some fishing soon. And I haven't caught a rock fish in years, man. I really want to do some rock fishing. And I had the bay is like, I could walk to the bay. Like, it's that close. Problem is, there's not a whole lot of places to fish. But I'm kind of more of a bass fisherman, but I love it all. So I'm going to get out there. And I got a GoPro recently, so we're going to start doing some videos of fishing. That is going to happen. And I'm pretty good with a Senko worm. It's funny, man. When I was younger, I used to go on my dad's bass boat all the time, and he would always be catching huge fish, and I could never catch a fish with a fake worm. Well, come to find out, years later, I was always setting the hook. Like, I'd get a bite, and I'd set the hook right away. And you got to let a bass kind of take it, and then set the hook. And I didn't realize that until later on in life. So once I realized that, I love bass fishing now. I never used to use worms. I would use a buzz bait, crankbait, you name it. I used it, frogs, anything but a worm, because I could never catch a fish with a worm. But once I figured it out, I love it now. And there's nothing like catching a big old 5-pound bass on a freaking Senko. Or even a 3-pound bass on a Senko. Edmonton, uh-oh. Got the Canadian boy in here. I knew you were from somewhere in Canada, obviously. I mean, judging by your picture. I knew that already, but... That's one place I've never been. I've never been anywhere... To be honest, I've never been out the United States except for one time I went to Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. And, man, I tell you, that was an amazing trip. I love Cabo. I would love to go back one day. But that's the only place I've ever been outside of the U.S. I've never even been to the East Coast. Or the West Coast, I mean. Only on the East Coast. I've been up to Pennsylvania and down to Florida and over to Ohio. And that's really about it. I need to get out more. Haven't done any fishing since moving away from the Great Lakes. That'd be some cool fishing, I feel like. They like fly fishing here, catch and release, yeah. So my daughter, there's a pond that they stock not too far from my house. And during the eclipse, because I took her there for the last eclipse, so we went back again. And she had her glasses, I had my welding helmet, and we watched the eclipse. It got cold as hell. I was freezing my balls off. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, so this same day, right, there's ospreys that are flying around. There was like 3 ospreys. And I've told this story before. Actually, the day after is when I went live talking about it. So the ospreys are flying around, and I'm telling my daughter, be careful if you cast, make sure that those birds aren't flying around, because you don't want them swooping down and trying to get your bait, right? So I'm trying to be cognizant of that the whole time and tell her about it too. Well, I go to this back corner where it's kind of mostly woods and a little bit of, like, there's really just enough room to cast, right? But I've caught a 5-pound bass in the back of this pond before, up in this little nook where the water comes in. And I cast over. Well, actually, let's back up. So I walk back there. As soon as I get there and I'm about to cast, there's a goose just going off, a Canadian goose, on the other side of the pond. And I knew it had some babies. It was, you know, it was doing its thing. It probably had some eggs or something. You know, it was still kind of chilly. Just now started. It's probably about this time of year, whenever the last solar eclipse was. So anyway, that goose is going nuts, right? So I cast my rod over to that back corner, trying to catch a big bass again. As soon as I do that, the osprey dives down into the water, not at my bait, but in my line, like halfway to my bait. So it's in between me and my bait. But when it dives down, it gets caught in my line. At this point, the goose goes off. The goose is like, rah, and comes over and is trying to attack the osprey as I got the osprey tied up in my fishing line. I had a buzzbait on at the time. So I start reeling in the buzzbait because I'm like, I got to get the sucker out of my line, right? So I'm trying to reel him over. I don't want him to be getting
messed up by this goose because he's caught up in my line. So I'm yelling at the goose, hey, get out of here, get out of here. And I'm reeling in the freaking line. I get him up. The goose eventually turns away because it was coming close to us. And it's just me and my daughter. My daughter she was 12 at the time, I think. I think she was 12. So I'm telling her, try to get the line undone. I'm going to grab the osprey. And ospreys have pretty big talons. I'm going to grab the osprey. You try to get the line undone. So I grab it by the neck. I grab one of its wings, and I'm trying to kind of hold it in a way where it can't get to me with its talons. And she's trying to undo it, and it just didn't happen right. So I don't know how she did it, but she did end up breaking the lure off of the line. And I was like, all right, well, we just need to break the lure off the end of the rod. Just so I try to step on it. I break it, finally get it off. Right as I'm getting ready to let it go, it actually does get me in my arm with one of the talons, stuck in my arm. And you know how, I don't know if you ever had this happen before, but it's almost like I could tell it stuck me, and immediately it popped right back out. So I got kind of lucky. It could have probably sliced my whole arm open. But as soon as that happened, I just let it go. It flew away, flew into a tree, and it was kind of crazy. But it's funny, we go there fishing for fish, and I catch a freaking osprey. Funny thing is, a couple of years ago, we went to that same pond, and I'm always fishing for bass. Well, I had a bobber with a worm on it too, because that's what she likes to catch, bluegills. Well, I'm fishing for bass, and the duck comes over and tries to get the worm off of my bobber, right? And it's about to take my fishing rod away. So I grab the fishing rod, I reel that sucker in, grab him by the neck, and end up getting the hook out of his beak. 2 times I've been to this place, hadn't caught a fish both times, but caught 2 birds. How the hell does that happen? Is that not like some crazy luck or what? That's like the craziest story I've probably had in a couple of years when it comes to animals. But anyway, the whole reason I brought that up is that pond, they actually, they stock it with trout once a year, usually in March. But it's not a very deep pond, and that's all it is a pond. So people go there right after because everybody knows. So there'll be like 50 people at this pond. That's, only a few acres. And so when we went there was nobody there. I didn't think there'd be any left, but she ended up catching probably about a foot long trout, rainbow trout. And I've never eaten trout, not wild caught trout. I wanted to eat it, but she didn't want to keep it, so I had to throw it back. But she did catch one. I've never caught a trout, but my daughter has, so that's pretty cool. She's caught a bass, a bunch of bluegills, trout. She caught a stingray when we went to Ocean City. Caught a couple of those little frog-looking things. I don't even know what the hell they're called. Looks like a bullfrog kind of thing, but it's a fish. But anyway, I digress. Should take time to travel, especially within the U.S. Yeah, some great sights to see. Yeah, that's what I was telling everybody earlier. Like, Maryland is just an amazing place in itself. You kind of get the best of all of it. I can go to the ocean and hang out in Maryland. I can go to the middle of the mountains and hang out. There's plenty of amazing lakes to go to. The bay comes right up the middle of Maryland. It's just, there's so many great places. I can be in the city, or I can be in the straight sticks. And I've experienced pretty much all of Maryland. But when it comes to outside of Maryland, not so much. Definitely a Maryland boy through and through. I took my first trip across the United States on the Rock Island Line, a train that ran back in '58. Dang, that's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind going for a little train ride. I've never been on a train, to be honest. Never. Not once in my life have I ever been on a train.
Man, my phone died again. Sorry, guys. I can't believe that just happened again. I thought it would have charged up enough for me to talk for 10 minutes. But anyway, I'm bird fisherman. I don't think I'll catch on. Tooly, what's going on? Driving home and listening? Yeah, I'm about to get off here. We're about to watch the game.
I didn't even realize. I thought the Caps were playing tomorrow. I didn't even bet on that game. Oh no, maybe I did. Oh, I did. Crap. I don't know why I got my days messed up. I thought it was the day after tomorrow. So we're gonna go watch this Caps game. But what was I saying? So the story was the osprey. So I caught an osprey. I caught a duck. Shit, what was I talking about? My phone dying totally threw me off there. What are we talking about, guys? Santa, we love your toys. Shh. Don't talk about that, Rhonda. I don't know. There was a story I was going to tell you, but I can't remember what the hell I was talking about now because my phone died and I started freaking out. Period's already over. Ugh. Are you watching? You're probably watching too, making fun of me. Just lost a. What's the score if you're watching? Dang it. I could have swore that game was tomorrow. I'm so bad. Yeah, I don't know what the story was, guys. So we're gonna get off here and watch this game. We're gonna have an auction soon, so all this stuff. We got a couple pours left over. If anybody didn't get one of those half-ounce rounds, let me know. You get a 1 of 10 sticker. They're fabric stickers. I have number 4, 5, 6, and 8 left. I got another turtle going on here, and then we have the United States of America 1776. 2.33 ounce round. Other than that, I did a couple today. They're outside. I can't show you that now. You might have seen it earlier. Crap. This thing unplugged already. Oh my God. What's happening? Trying to hold this up. That's why we're sitting here looking at nothing. Yeah, we're going to have an auction pretty soon. So that's what I got left over and things that are kind of new. I got an MP5 Pew Pew that is going to be amazing. I poured that today, so go back and watch the replay if you didn't see that. That's a number 1, and then I think it's a number 1 or number 2. I got to look in the book, but I believe it's a number 1 of my grandfather's arrowhead when he made my mother a dream catcher. I took the arrowhead out of it so I can make some copies, and this is, I think, the second one that I've made. It might be the third, but I think it's the second. So we did that today, and then I'll be back next Thursday. We'll do another Thursday pour day. I know I've missed a few. Unless I got to do some work Thursday, I'll be back. So it depends on if I got to work or not. But, that's still kind of up in the air. It's not an everyday thing yet. So, figuring that out. But I tell you what, doing HVAC is pretty awesome because you do tend to get copper every now and again. So, yeah. Melted down a few things there. That's why I had all those bars out there earlier that I melted down. But anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We got 41 likes. If you haven't double tapped the screen, feel free before I end this because that would be cool. But if not, it's all good. Over under. Tuli, do you want over under? Because I was thinking about pouring one of those too. I almost did that today. Because I know everybody's been liking the guns. And so I did an MP5, and I was going to do another rifle and the over-under, because those are kind of the same. And then I have the AK-47 and the AR-15. And then I have the revolver, which I know you already got. And then the 9mm, the Glock. I was thinking about doing another Glock, too. I don't have a whole lot of silver left, so I'm trying to do what I can do with what I do have with some of the smaller pieces, because the Pew Pews, they're like 11, 12 grams kind of thing, so they are a little bit smaller. But if you want one, let me know, and I'll try to do one. Okay. I'll make sure I do an over and under then. I'll do one of each. I'll do the rifle and the over under, because I do those at the same time because it just makes it easy. And they're both about 11 grams, 12 grams, something like that. So I'll make sure I do that. I'll do that tomorrow. So that'll be one of the pieces. And then if there's anything else, if you see me do anything over the past year, let me know, and I'll try to do another one. Praying hands, I think I'm up to number 9 now. If anybody wants to praying hands, let me know. The poker chips, I'll do another poker chip. And I think I am going to try to do the CC, the channel shield. I want to do another shield because I only did that prototype, I think. I think I'm going to do that in a number 1. But yeah, that's where we're at so far. The auction, I'm trying to make it next Friday, but I might have to do it the Friday after. I'm trying to figure that out. I really need to do it next Friday, but I might be able to figure some things out before that. So it's kind of just one of those things where I have to do it when I have to do it kind of thing. You know what I mean? This whole other thing I'm doing with work isn't quite going steady yet, so we're getting there, but I'm gonna have to do something soon, that's for sure. But I'll let you know. It'll definitely be I'm sure it'll be a Friday. I mean, really, I could do it on a Tuesday. Like that Tuesday is really when I need to have something done by not this next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So, I guess somehow some mosquito got in here. But anyway, I'll let you guys know. There'll definitely be a video where I'll show you guys what I have and talk about it a little bit. And I've got a bunch of errors and things that I've found over the years that I'm probably going to put up. I'll probably start them as cheap as I can and just see where you guys take it. So I'm going to try to post a little bit about that so that people know. And if you know anybody that likes errors, if you're not into errors and you know anybody that's into that sort of thing, mostly quarters and pennies, I've got a bunch of stuff that I found that I would love to let go of and put them in a good home, you know? So, yeah. Other than that, bunch of quarters too. I got a bunch of those proof quarters, all different proof quarters too. I got 2 rolls and none of them were the same. So if anybody's looking for any kind of proof quarter, let me know. I might even do something like that before the auction. Just let me know. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to get off here because I've been on here for 225 minutes now. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me though. It was kind of scary earlier when I went live and for 15 minutes, nobody showed up. Not even one person came through. And I was like, what is going on? I thought YouTube was broke or everybody hated me or both. I don't know. I was freaking out like, man, how am I going to have an auction if I can't even get one person to show up for Thursday Pour Day when I've been doing this for a year? What's going on? Kind of freaked me out. But you know what? I said, I'm going to end this. I'm going to come back later, see what happens. Hopefully the people will show. And you did. So thank you guys. I do appreciate it. We got 41 likes and that is amazing. So thank you guys. I have to make sure you can be there. I hope you're there, Tuli. I hope you are. Yes, I hope I have a great night too. As long as the Capitals win tonight, I will be doing amazing. Yes, not error notes, error quarters and pennies probably. Mostly quarters, because that's what I search more than anything. I've got a whole stack, like this whole stack right here. That's a whole stack of errors that I found recently. And then there's some pennies that I haven't put up yet. There's even more quarters here. I still got to flip them. I got to put them in the flips. I got everything ready to go. I still got to search all these too. But yeah, some of those I'm going to probably put up and just hopefully they'll make it to a good home. And if not, it is what it is. I've got some really cool stuff that I've never shown you guys before too. I got one thing that is really cool. So, yeah, stop by. But I'll make a video. I'll let you guys know. Oh, I got some new stickers too. Here, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. I did a roll of the old stickers. Remember the stickers I did that were like an octagon? It was kind of like not an octagon. It was a rectangle. Sorry. It was a rectangle. And I had to make it in a circle sticker. And this is one of my first designs. I've always made my own designs. I've never paid anybody to make a design for me. I just try to do it myself. So it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I think it's still pretty cool. This is Capital Currency. This was the first time when I came up with that backwards C. And then it says YouTube on the bottom. Over here it says silver and gold. Over here it says coins and bills. And that was before I started pouring. But yeah, I got 50 of these. I'll probably give these out throughout the night too. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to get off here and go watch this game and at least catch the second and third period. And I'll talk to you guys soon. So like I always say, I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.